What is up, guys? We're live. We're live. Sorry for the little delay. Dr. Dre will be joining us fast in a second. He has internet problems. He's on the phone with Cox Cable right now. To go ahead and solve those out. Right now, let's tune into the Disneyland Forward meeting. It's still going on, and I think they're about to do the public comments. Let's go ahead and do the live stream for that right now. Let's go ahead and turn on the volume here.
Got it. So what about addressing kind of the administration buildings, commercial buildings, stuff like that? There's methodology for that?
Still have to yet.
There's methodology, but again, without having the specifics, it's impossible to speculate.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that has to do mainly because of the square footage, different designs, all that
All
stuff.
of that, yes.
Okay. So in regards to the parking spaces, do we have a rough figure of how much one parking space goes for in terms of the
hello guys, thank you.
I don't.
What are they
have that
doing now?
off the top of my head,
Oh,
but we
so
have
they
what
have
one parking space costs
just
to develop,
finished the
yes.
presentation, and now the committee's asking questions
That's about accurate.
to Disneyland
So
about
of the remaining parking spaces in the hotel district use, would you concur if 4,045 parking spaces? Let me pull up my calculator. Sorry about that.
Welcome, peoples, and welcome. Open up his live stream. We're waiting on Dr. Dre. He has his internet problems at the moment.
Would you agree that
So then
just
we'll
for
be
the
live
hotel
streaming this
district
meeting.
use, the remaining parking, economic development round ballpark would be about 122 million?
That sounds about
Okay.
correct.
And would you kind of agree that the concurrent of, if we were to kind of do that math across the board, that the math would be relative to that as well?
It would seem to be, yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you all.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions for the Disney staff?
I do think that just for the record, we can answer Commissioner Perez's other question about percentage usage of the three.
Yes, for hotel rooms, there's
As
a
it's
remaining
going pretty well,
58% of the allowed hotel rooms that could be
Listen to
developed.
this meeting since
And for theme park
5
uses,
technically.
53% of the
They're
remaining
having internet.
entitlement is left. And then for
Some
parking,
had a
and this
space
is,
heater and the power went out or
specific
something,
to
so
theme park guest parking,
didn't really start till like
46%
5:30.
of the spaces are remaining.
Yeah, but mom's going on 3 hours now.
And do we
Waiting
know
for a
for the other
vote. We have
parking spaces,
69
what is
speaker
remaining
cards,
in
they
terms
said.
of,
So that's 69 public comment
hotel,
people that are
commercial,
still there
and anything else that
to
would apply
speak on
administrative?
this road.
Sorry, I
They're
thought you
kind
were
of upset
looking
about
for the
this.
big bucket
Disney wants to
category.
buy 2 roads.
I was looking at all of them.
Private and probably demolish them.
Do you want me to just read
The
the full table
anti-residents
of
don't
what
seem too
square
happy
footage is
about
remaining
that.
in each category?
I would like the percentage. I think that's better clarification.
Okay, well, I just.
This guy's gonna
All
be
right,
a little
maybe we can
prick
go-
because
We'll continue.
this guy,
with
this
our
I guess that's the
rough
main
exercise here
committee guy.
as you,
Okay.
Kept asking for Disneyland, the Disney staff's,
Speakers can move
the
forward.
Disney staff's,
I think we
like
have
economic
options to
person,
ask the applicant.
and like how much construction is gonna cost, even though they don't know that because it's just a,
Something else.
No, I know.
just
I
a
have-
zoning change. They don't know how much construction is gonna cost. They don't even know if they're gonna build yet.
Cool. I was-
And this guy in the middle here kept asking, how much is the construction gonna cost? And like I'm saying, I don't know.
Joe, Ken,
And then he said, I want to speak to
Rachel,
the economic
Commissioner
person.
Perez.
And the economic person left. So
Can you guys
Yeah,
give me
it's being a little-
summary
little bit of an
the
asshole.
community outreach?
how do that's a good question. I think they're leaning towards approval because they had so many workshops so far. They just had one a couple of weeks ago,
Sorry, I
like
apologize, Commissioner Perez. I
I actually had a
angling
sequel
myself to
workshop.
my seat.
No problem.
For those of you who don't know,
The
sequel was
community outreach
California
asked for a summary. I believe
quality-
there is a summary in
California
detailed summary of all the
Environmental
outreach
Quality Act
activities that's
had a
included in the,
sequel,
staff report. Is that correct?
sequel workshop
There is not.
a couple
It's
weeks
attached to
ago,
the staff report.
and so they've
Can
been
we
doing this for
get
3
that
years.
attachment on the screen?
And I spoke to the council member that I met in Anaheim at that
Just
event
put up the
last
end of
year.
the video
She
because
seemed
it was
pretty happy.
clearly identified
Um,
in the video that
This
She
is
seemed
President-
pretty happy about it.
the-
So I think they're pretty think leaning in that
It's a
favor.
lot of meetings.
Only problem.
This is a, I think a more,
Oh, here it goes.
a detailed list, I think.
Hey, sorry about that. Do apologize. Had some internet troubles, unfortunately, that kept me
There he
away.
is.
You there, good sir? Hello? Uh-oh.
Hold on. Oh boy, you come in, Dr. J. Now I. Uh-oh.
Now you got problems?
No.
Oh no. I have the
Lovely.
meeting right
Stupid
here
technology.
if we need it.
Can't stand this. This is ridiculous. Hold on.
I have the meeting right here if we need it.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, okay, you can do it.
Yeah, you got
Because
it.
I don't know what happened. As soon as you came in, my internet just froze.
I got it.
Okay, here we go.
You guys
Now
first
we're back.
started, I believe the first one says March
There we go.
25th, 2021.
Uh-oh.
March
Okay.
20,
I see
2021 is
my-
the first one noted on this record. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then
On
would
screen.
you agree that the last one is February 29th, 2024?
There we go. How about that?
I'd have to consult this document to recall.
Wait,
There's been,
It's just coming down. It's coming down.
actually, no, this reflects the activity as of the month ending
Yes.
February.
that the
We're
right
2
one
weeks
there,
into
uh,
March,
Boom,
so I
at
would say there's been
stage.
even more over the last 2 weeks.
Okay. And then with that,
goodness.
when were
I
the
hate
community
internet. I
benefits
hate
made
internet. I
public?
hate
What was the date of that?
The community benefits were discussed for the first time.
You had it, you had it.
At
At the
stage.
city
Come
council
on,
workshop
at it,
on January
man. There you
23rd.
go.
Memory serves that correct, Mr. White?
Oh, there we go. It's so
So
slow.
January 23rd of 2024.
All right.
I don't know.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know what's going on. I don't know.
So for all the meetings
Blackout
on the
that
West
dealt
Coast,
with
I
the
guess.
community or other governmental relations or other individuals' business or whatnot, when the topic
All right,
of
so
community
Dr. J,
benefits
this was
came
Chris.
up, what did you guys
Ken
communicate?
came on and spoke and showed a
No,
video.
that was not the focus.
And now
of
they're
the
asking
meetings.
them questions.
Our outreach
the
meetings on the
Disney
project
staff.
have been focused on the four corners of the project itself,
Oh.
not
Okay, good.
necessarily community benefits as you would see in the development
They
agreement.
asked
So the four
about
corners of the
parking a
project
lot,
itself
and
are what I kind of call the kitchen
now-
table issues.
Yeah.
What am I looking at? What am I hearing?
Parking's going to be
What am I
crucial
seeing?
here
Things
for
like
this
that,
vote
the
right here
things that
because
people care about when they see out their
the
kitchen window.
day-to-day
While
environmental
community
impact of this
benefits are
proposal is
important,
going
I
to
think
be on
people are
parking
most
and
concerned
traffic.
of things that impact their daily lives.
So they want to
first and
ensure that
foremost. So
all those are
that was
sufficient.
not the focus
I-
of that outreach.
I don't disagree that ball
No,
might be
that makes
alleviated
sense.
of a lot of the
So
traffic, especially coming,
you
what is
would
it,
concur
northbound on the
then For
5?
anybody who attended the community
Yeah.
meeting prior to that
if
community
that,
benefits being public,
if
they
that east
wouldn't
parking
know
structure
what
is
the complete
is
scope of
built.
the project would be.
Surely it will be.
No, I would not concur with
But,
that statement.
Okay. What,
you know,
how would
You gotta-
say-
you gotta worry about
how
Ball
would you
and the
communicate
additional traffic
that?
there.
In the sense, would you then say that
From the,
individuals who did
parking lot
attend
for the,
those
employees.
community meetings did have a full
Oh,
grasp
they
of the
start on that
scope of the
parking
project?
structure
Without a doubt, sir.
this summer.
Without a doubt, sir. Project.
I think
as
they
is
will.
Typically referred to project capital P.
The original plan, I
is
believe
the
somebody
project,
mentioned
the four
it.
corners
One of
of
the
the
commissioners
project that we've been talking
asked
about
about
really
this,
since March of
and one of the
2021.
guys there,
And like I said, that
one of the
covers
experts
all
said
the
that,
basics of a real estate development
the original
project.
plan called for
The
it.
community
So
benefits is
they've
an
been
element
wanting
of
to do this since the
development
90s.
agreement, and that is not what I would consider a portion of the actual four corners of the project. That is a point of business in the development agreement.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So with that, what is the number of guests that come to the park or the resort area as a whole annually?
Disclosing specific attendance is not something Disney does. That's considered proprietary information.
Is there any ballpark number that you guys use for promotions or anything?
No, sir.
Got it, okay.
Guy is funny. What are you trying to get
Staff,
digging
do you
those
have any
questions?
information of how many guests come to the
Luis,
resort area of the park?
Perez here, Commissioner
I'm going to
Perez
take a
has
stab
been,
to
has
the
been like a
extent
dog
it's,
with a bone
including
this
the
whole
EIR.
time.
They're,
I
within
know,
the
like
plan
first when
considered
you're gone, he's
attendance,
that's for the
to be
like,
public information. It is
economist,
proprietary, and that's understandable.
and trying to get it like
What we
he's
do
like, how
have
much is construction gonna
from
cost? How much is
our
construction gonna
EIR
cost? And they're like,
311,
I don't know. What's this just the zoning?
trips,
How much? I want to know. I'm like,
capacity
oh,
information, which is
calm
quite
down.
different than attendance. So for the purposes of environmental impacts, we're looking at capacity. How many people might be on the road? How many people might be
I
visiting?
didn't know that
So we do
the
have those older numbers from
cultural,
311.
historical
Do we have figures about what are the capacities of
resources.
the commercial aspects?
Was for
of the
anything 50 years or
project,
older. I
Yeah.
didn't know
theme
that.
park as is, as in the sense.
Yeah,
how many
that's
people
interesting.
can
Oh
go
yeah,
to
actually, we should
Disney,
probably
how
tell
many
the
people can
chat
go
here.
to Disneyland,
So the
how many
chat
people
here,
can in California
which has
Adventure?
Mr. Boyan, yeah, they're talking about historic structures, and what they mentioned, they
I would
said
defer
what
to staff
Pirates,
for the
Haunted
CEQA
Mansion,
aspect of that
the
question.
monorail, and some
We
others
have
are
from
considered historic
311 what was
structures because they've
anticipated
been there for
to,
over
from the
50
existing
years. Pretty interesting.
Disneyland
Which
park.
make them hard to like
And an
demolish or
additional
alter.
that would be
Pretty much.
presumed to
It
be
was.
added as a result
So,
of the second theme
I'm
park.
gonna try to show
that was
this part of my
proposed.
screen
And
here.
at that time, it was
Still gonna be
estimated
playing,
to be a
guys, so you're still gonna be
combined
hearing it,
total
but-
of 24
Too bad
capacity.
Splash Mountain's not a historic
Capacity.
structure.
But again, that's different
Yeah,
from
we could have used
attendance.
that, right?
Okay. From
Let's
that, and then
see
this
here.
is for the applicant. So, can you
This is the
explain to
slide
me
that
the
they showed.
products,
Yeah, right here.
Essentially, you guys sell
there,
for
look at that.
access to the
Yeah,
park.
no,
wait.
it's
No,
ticket
it's not.
passes or
That's the
magic
setbacks.
keys
Hang on.
or Any of that? Can you explain that to me?
Every
Hang on,
possible
hang on.
product or?
Yeah, at least the majority ones that you guys see. I know you guys have like different VIP, different, and I'm not really asking for that.
There we
just
go.
Kind of high level.
Commissioner Perez will be
Yes,
getting
yeah.
out of my depth a little. I'm going to invite my colleague Rachel Aldi to come.
These
and
are
answer that
historic
question.
Thank
structures.
you.
At the resort, got Main Street there. You got the
So let me make
Pirates.
sure I understand your question. You
Wait,
just want me to
everything's
share
still in
examples
yellow.
of different admission
like that.
access.
Yeah, they're including
to
everything
enter
within the
theme park?
red boundary
Correct.
line
Which
as
ones that you
potential
guys
historic,
provide for
historic
this
sites because,
Disneyland
well, the park
resort?
is over 50 years
Well,
old, so
currently, we provide
that's kind of an
one-
interesting,
multiple
interesting thing
access
right there.
points.
The
So
Pope House
one-day
is still
access,
there, obviously.
Multi-day access.
What they're also saying
park
is that
hoppers,
Disneyland Forward might
evening hard ticket
affect
events, depending
these
on, evening
specific
events.
properties right
We also
here.
have
We don't-
other-
we're
other different
obviously not
partnerships with other
sure as
groups
to
and
what
other,
that might
various
mean, but
groups.
Disneyland
And
Forward's
then
proposal
you
going
guys
forward
have the annual pass or the
might
magic
Yes.
key system,
reduce
right?
The Magic Key, as well as a Magic Key
the
access.
impact
and
of these
different access
historic
points for that one
buildings
as
going
well.
forward. So
You communicate what those access points are?
there's like special approvals that you
Magic
need
Key
for historic
passes,
sites and stuff like
essentially?
that. They want to get around
Well,
that.
we have several
Yeah,
different
to make, like,
tiers
oh, yeah,
that
those
give access
alterations
points. I'd
and
have to get
stuff.
the details for
Gotcha.
each of them. But some give you access during, for a large bulk of the year. Some, eliminate certain, weekends and certain holidays, and some are, a SoCal level pass. But I would have to get the actual details if I understand
Oh, and I
more
think they're
what
asking
your
that's a
question
magic
is.
No,
key.
it's essentially, that's kind of
They
what I
are.
want to figure out, like what the different passes are, what they allow or what they don't allow. And kind of the portion for that is to say.
Thanks. Maybe
obviously
Councilman
the
Commissioner
proprietary
Perez was on that
information of how
Dream
many
Key
people are
lawsuit
coming.
trying to get the
But
deed.
I'm curious to see what the full scale 100% utilization of the development is. And I say this
Damn, okay.
because there are no construction phasing or anything like that.
He's a Disney fan, you can
And I would
tell.
assume it's because of our proprietary
Like, he knows the
information of
stuff.
theme park development. But I also
He
understand
says,
that
how
you
many
guys'
keys are there?
CEO
How many? What's your
is
daily
going to
attendance?
public
Yearly
events, going to
attendance.
venues and saying, hey, we want to have Avatar 2 here, we want to have this here. So I'm trying to have more clarification and understanding is, do you guys have an aspect of what you guys want to do, or is that more proprietary information?
So I think in terms of what we want to do, as
They're not gonna
we've
tell you
stated,
anything.
we know there are different stories that we would love to tell. The Disney company
Proprietary as in,
constantly creates
okay, they don't
stories.
know it all.
We would love to bring
Right,
some
they're
of
not
those
gonna tell
stories
them.
in
They're not gonna
immersive
tell
ways
them.
onto our property. We are just waiting to go through this process to understand the guidelines and where we can actually put those stories and those types of experiences. Once we get that type of guideline, we'll be able to start that process in more
we're not
detail to
approving this
define what
until
we
you
could
tell us
build
exactly
more
what-
specific.
Yeah, we ain't
So
letting
would you
anything go
concur
until
that
you
the
give us
project
something.
itself is conceptual in nature?
No, we know very clearly what we'd like to build and where, right? And I think it's a
Oh.
combination of theme park and mixed-use development
that's
in several
interesting.
different areas that we've outlined. We just need to
Oh,
figure
they're
out
saying they know exactly
which
what they
stories
wanna
and
do.
how
Clear?
those stories come to
Uh-oh.
life in
They
those
just gave
areas.
the
But the
commissioner some
components
ammo.
are defined.
All right.
Got
Come on,
it. Sure did.
Commissioner.
Excuse me, I'm just
Fire
going to interrupt
back.
you for a second. Leon, are we getting off topic here?
Oh, come on. Let Perez have his fun.
I don't know.
Come on, why do you have to kill him like that?
Well, again,
He said, "Wait a
give
second."
some deference to the commissioner. He is asking questions about the project. Do I think it's off topic as far as we've had staff presentation? We have not opened the public comment period. I'm not exactly sure what the purposes of the questioning is, as far as forming your opinion on the matter tonight. But if you'd like to move things.
Hey, I want to know about Magic
forward,
Keys, and I want to
proceed
know
that.
about what they're going to
We'll look
build.
to the rest of the commission to see if they wanted to vote to allow that, or perhaps the commissioner wants to wait until after the public hearing to
Okay.
continue.
That's fine.
We
We
will
can
start
proceed.
with the public hearing. And
Oh, he
Francis,
said,
if
wait,
you
he
have
said, this is
questions,
personal.
you
I want to know. These are from me. I don't care about you.
can- Or Joe or Ken.
He's
Which are
probably
very
asked like
interesting questions
Come on
because
up,
I like to know those too.
If you could put
absolutely.
the
He's
names
probably
of
asked like
the
30
speakers
questions
up, I'd
though. I mean, we're
appreciate
deep
it.
in this.
Good evening.
That's funny. She goes,
Welcome.
excuse me.
Thank you, thank you.
Is this off
Good evening,
topic?
esteemed commissioners. I think I'm really, really lucky to be number one, so
Well,
usually
actually,
I'm
you're
number
two.
39 or last in line, but appreciate the opportunity to be here. First and foremost, I want to just speak on behalf of the Anaheim Family YMCA. We are incredibly proud of the Disneyland Forward project. Again, I think nonprofits are sometimes the last group or the last aspects of communities that are sometimes thought of. And I just want to certainly compliment Ken and the team for how we've been engaged as a nonprofit for the benefits of this project. Thousands of kids and families come to the YMCA for services every year. And I can't tell you how many, again, the incredible possibilities that will happen from this project that we'll be able to engage and meet vulnerable children where they're at in our community. So again, as an organization, we support this incredible project, and I want to thank the city staff that have poured over this for hours and hours, if not days and weeks over the last 3 years. So again, kudos to Anaheim. What a great project, and I couldn't be more proud to be here leading an organization that, again,
Been a
cares
lot.
about
It's
kids,
been very
families, and
technical.
community.
It's been
Thank you
very
much.
wide-reaching, more
Thank you.
encompassing. It's having to deal with multiple strategic plans. It's a
Welcome
lot.
again, Beverly.
Good evening. I'm going to start by saying I have a very unique perspective on this entire project because I have been a zoning commissioner in my former hometown. Anaheim is now
you're
my
saying 3 minutes,
hometown.
right?
And as far as being a resident, there's nobody
Yeah.
that lives closer to this
Up to
project
3
than I
minutes.
do. There's others that live as close, but my house sits right on Walnut. So when I look at what has gone on in the past 3 years, I cannot tell you
Stopwatch.
how proud I am of Disney as a business from a resident's perspective as to how they've listened, they asked questions. They wanted to know what we needed. What's the noise situation? What do we need aesthetically?
This has been a
And
big
everything that
break
we asked
in terms
for,
of,
they delivered.
in terms of their
Sometimes it was,
prior
a little
stances when
extra effort to
it goes
get
to
them
these
there,
projects
but
and-
they
and
got
this one.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And
They've been a lot more,
I cannot think of a
forthcoming,
more
and they've been a lot more
cooperative
transparent,
situation
and they've been a
than
lot
what I
more
experienced. And I went to
collaborative
I
in
went
this
to every
Yeah,
meeting
yeah,
I
they
could
took
get
the
to. I
last
was
3
at the
years
parks. I was at the
whole bunch of
hotel.
meetings.
I was
That's pretty
wherever
nice.
we could gather to make sure that this was going to be good. And as I spoke to Joe, and I told him, I said, you know what? Let's get this all worked out now. So at the end, we don't have problems. And I cannot stress how good they communicated all of the events that were going on. Short of coming to my front door and handing me an invitation,
She's about
I
halfway
knew
there.
when everything was going on because they communicated that, because they wanted the residents there. They wanted to be a good neighbor. How many neighbors or neighborhood businesses do we have that are going to donate $30 million for affordable housing? It's unprecedented. It's what Disney is doing. And as
All
far
right,
as
I'm
being a
starting to
good
think that she
neighbor
was
when
paid.
it comes to other donations, the parks and $85 million in roads
Joking,
and
joking,
safety.
joking.
My gosh, if we can get those 11,000 cars off of Walnut, I cannot tell you how important that is. Is it going to inconvenience a small handful of people that use
Is there a lot
Walnut
of
to
traffic on
cut
Walnut?
through over to
Hey,
get to
Dr.
the
Ray
freeway?
says she's
I think
paid.
it's more important that they spend that extra 5
Every
or
single
10
time I
minutes
go
on the
down
road,
Walnut,
that we
it's like
get those
nobody there.
11,000
Harbor
cars
is
off
the
of
bigger
Walnut for the residents' safety.
I'm one of them, Beverly, but I don't cut through.
Well, there you go. See?
Harbor's
I'm on
huge.
Walnut.
To get the pedestrian
I
traffic off of
cannot
Harbor,
encourage
much
you
bigger
or
than
urge
anything
you
else.
strongly enough to approve this to go on to city council.
Yeah,
It's
that's
near and dear to
dangerous.
my heart, and this is a company that
All right, if
I
she's
would
3 minutes,
say
then
cares
her
about
time's about to expire.
the
Thank you.
people.
Thank you,
So
Beverly.
thank you.
There you go.
Welcome, Francis.
Good
Right,
evening,
so
Chair
it's
Crane,
69, we're on number,
planning
what, 4?
commissioners. As a noise-sensitive receptor,
Yeah,
I'm here
65
this
what?
evening to say that we live off of Walnut, and we've gone through all the sessions with Disney Forward during the past 3 years. I believe we have achieved positive results
think
for our
there's, what,
neighborhood
69 of these?
regarding noise, and especially with continued open dialogue.
Yeah.
I can only speak as I
I think
find,
this is
and
what,
that is
4,
that
right? So you have
Disney are great
65
neighbors and amazing contributors to
and you
Anaheim.
got the vote.
Have you all seen the trees and shrubs along Walnut and how beautifully it's maintained? There are no weeds or garbage on the medians and sidewalks.
True.
Being resort adjacent has always been a benefit to us, and we don't think that will change much going forward. In fact, we gave up our time to make sure that our little part of Anaheim remains a respite for all residents. And we feel we have an open door to the whole process, both with the city and with Disney. We walk our dogs on Magic Way, Disneyland Drive, and Catella every day, and we have observed
Okay,
the
just
traffic
because you have 3
firsthand.
minutes
In
doesn't mean
fact, we
it has
walked
to
it
be
this
3
morning
minutes. You get it,
and noted
like it.
4 cars coming north on Walnut from Ball, doing a U-turn at Cerritos and going back to Magic Way. We personally have never used Magic Way as a cut-through to Ball Road or Catella, and therefore we personally don't see it as a loss. We very much hope that closing it will be a benefit as part of our effort at traffic calming along Walnut. We feel sure that a raised crosswalk with the flashing
Okay, so
light would
they're-
be a
they're
great
saying that
advantage
we don't
to all
mind
the
Magic Way
residents
being
of Walnut. Closing
abandoned
Magic
because,
Way to vehicular traffic would ensure
cut
the
down
safety
vehicular
of the
traffic
hundreds
on,
of pedestrians
Yeah.
crossing Walnut. I urge you to approve the project.
That's interesting.
Thank you, Francis.
That's kind of a different way to go about it.
Sabrina, welcome.
Thank you, Chair Crane and Commissioners. My name is Sabrina Lockhart. I'm the Executive Director of the California Attractions and Parks Association. We represent California theme parks, water parks, and family
Oh.
entertainment centers.
Interesting.
Many of our members live and work in Orange County. I am grateful for the
You know, I
opportunity
have a
to
bone to
speak
pick with you,
tonight
buddy.
in full support of the
You're the one who
Disneyland
won't let us
Forward
open in
project.
2021.
Much has been said about the tremendous
Really?
benefits to the city of
These were part of
Anaheim and its community, but I want to remind you that those
Yeah, I'm part of that
benefits don't
group,
stop at city
nuisance
limits.
group that wouldn't
Orange
set all
County,
those
Southern
rules.
California, and California as a whole stands to benefit. In short, California's entire
They eventually
tourism
changed their mind and they
ecosystem
got sick of
stands
it,
to grow.
but there's a part of it for
When
a
people
bit
think
there.
of California, theme parks
Then
are
they
just as
got on the park
iconic
side
as
and
palm
away, it's like-
trees or beaches and sunny skies.
I got a bone
A
to pick with
project
this
of this
person.
magnitude will encourage people to visit Orange County and stay longer, resulting in more nights in our hotels, more dining in our local restaurants, and the opportunity to visit nearby destinations and attractions. CAPA fully supports Disneyland Forward because it will solidify California's status as a global tourism destination, and it really highlights the innovation and entertainment that our industry provides.
Yeah, bro.
The project before you today reflects many
That's
years
right,
of community work, a thorough, inclusive process that ensures residents' voices
These
are
have
heard.
been a lot more
For all
positive
these
than I thought
reasons,
they
urge
would
you to
be
support this
right off the
project so
gate
that it
right
may move
here.
forward to
I
the
wonder
City
if
Council.
the
Yeah,
residents.
which is good, you know.
Welcome, Mike.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Manter. I'm actually a proud Anaheim resident and in full support of the Disneyland Forward project. My support actually comes from a different angle. Unlike most people, I wasn't a local, I'm not a business, I haven't lived here for years. After many years of visiting as a tourist, my husband and I made the move in summer of 2020 to Anaheim. 2 years ago, we actually moved to Walnut and have been proud residents ever since.
Oh, okay.
As a tourist, I rarely ventured outside the resort, and if I did, it was to find a grocery store, place to eat, or actually go to another tourist destination.
New
I never
rule, 2
realized
minutes
the
of
impact of the
sport,
resort
3
had on
minutes of your
locals.
dislike.
While not perfect, I think the Disneyland Forward project helps address the concerns and needs from all sides. I'm looking forward to the next several years and seeing how the Disneyland will impact the future of Anaheim and make it a worldwide destination, home to the only Disney park visited by Walt Disney himself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, there you go. Nice and short.
We're going fast here. Pick it up speed.
Welcome, Nick.
Good evening.
What?
My name is Nicholas Hockman, and I serve as the general manager of Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, the chairman of the Anaheim Orange County Hotel and Lodging Association, an adjunct professor of hospitality and tourism at Cal State Fullerton, and most importantly, I am a proud resident of this great city of Anaheim. It is an honor to stand before you in support of Disneyland Forward. One of my fondest childhood memories was sitting on the shoulders of my grandfather, Pop-Up, watching a Disney parade. The only time I experienced a Disney park as a child, a memory that I cherish.
Please.
Now I lead a group of casts that welcome guests from all over the world, and together we lay the foundation for other little boys and girls and their families to build memories with those they love most, memories that will be discussed around the Thanksgiving table for years, if not generations. The reality is simple. The magic of Disney extends far beyond the berm of our resorts and parks. The economic engine that is Disney aids in the creation and foundation of magic all across our community,
Bring that up on screen
generating a staggering $8.5 billion in economic activity annually, serving as the cornerstone
So it
of
looks
our
like Anaheim
local
Disney
economy.
is looking at building some
Walt
sort
Disney
of
was an
Catella,
innovator, he was a
Ab,
storyteller,
streetcar,
and he said that we
streetcar,
would never be completed.
BRT and all.
As a resident of
rapid
Anaheim, we
fire.
know that
Of
when
course.
Disney invests, Anaheim wins.
Wow, look at this.
Hotel taxes represent the single largest source of tax revenue for Anaheim, more than half of the city's
And
total
right there.
revenue.
Yeah, that
and
would
when
be- that would
Disney
be
builds something
phenomenal
new,
right there.
people come, and hotel tax revenue increases with a direct
I
benefit to
would
the
say
city of
that
Anaheim.
if Disney were
and,
to
of course, our
announce
fellow
something big,
residents.
substantial, this
According to the city, the opening of past attractions like
This would-
Star
this would
Wars,
gain support.
Galaxy's Edge, and Avengers Campus, revenue generated from hotel taxes soared to an impressive $162 million and $177 million, respectively.
Whoa.
According to experts, Disney's investment of $1.9 billion in new theme park and lodging experiences could create nearly 9,000 new construction jobs and more than 4,000 new jobs during operation. With Disneyland Forward, Anaheim wins. Our residents win. Our schools and universities win. Our police and fire departments win. Our public libraries and community centers win. Organizations like Make-A-Wish and Children's Hospital of Orange County win. Small businesses win. Our cast members win. Together, ladies and gentlemen, we all win. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicholas. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hello. My name is Jennifer Brooks. As a resident of Anaheim and a Disney cast member, I've spent a lot of time considering this project and the impact to our community. In
Think we're
doing
at, like,
so, the
6?
best way I can share my thoughts is to share my story. I've been a cast member for almost 22 years, and when I look back at my time with Disney, I can see the positive role the Disneyland Resort has played a big part in my life story, raising a child with disabilities while being a single parent working full-time.
Pretty much all
for
these have been
13 out
positive,
of my
right?
22 years. Disney
Yeah,
has
every
offered
single one.
numerous volunteer opportunities at various
Very
organizations,
surprising,
some
very
of which have
surprising.
played a significant role in our lives. My very first
You know,
Disney
usually
volunteer
these get
event before I
contentious
had a
pretty quickly.
child, in 2003, I believe,
Wow,
was with the
so-
Shea Center in San Juan Capistrano, where they offer therapeutic writing programs to individuals with disabilities, not knowing 8 years later my son would become a client. I also did multiple volunteer experiences with Special Olympics, again, not realizing my son one day would become a Special Olympics athlete. Disney's contributions to the community and the benefits it offers its cast members have been a large part of our journey. My son and I, we know chalk very well. And while we were there for many overnight stays, Disney was all around us. Turtle Talk with Crush, Child Life Specialists bringing us toys, and the endless supply of Disney videos. All of these were things that were donated by the Disneyland Resort. Having a child with special needs, trying to get access to certain medical services can be very difficult at times. However, with Disney's benefits, I have access to a dedicated nurse case manager that has saved me hours navigating that red tape. And now as my son approaches early adulthood, special needs trusts and conservatorship are on the horizon. And again, with Disney's benefits, I have access to a group legal plan that can help me find an affordable attorney, and in some cases, services are covered completely. All along my journey, Disney has been extremely flexible. Due to appointments or several unforeseen events related to difficulties with my son and his medical issues, my leader has always been flexible, providing a flexible work arrangement, if and when needed, which has allowed me to be 100% committed to my job and 100% committed to being a parent. And Disney has also listened to my story. One of my most cherished memories with my son is being able to swing next to him in a swing set due to an accessible swing seat. I knew Disney years ago was updating the play spaces in Anaheim. I knew I had a story that I needed to share, and I did. And Disney listened. And that was the birthplace of the accessible play space at Barton Park that hopefully you are all familiar with. That happened a couple of years ago, which, by the way, includes an accessible swing seat. I know I only have limited time to speak, but as you can see, the Disneyland Resort has played a positive and very important role in my life story, providing opportunities, resources, and benefits to help me walk my journey. As a resident of Anaheim, I support the Disneyland Forward project. Aside from economic reasons, I support it for all the future roles it will bring to our community. And if it can help even just one person, maybe someone like me.
Yeah, she's
it'll
over.
have a
She's
monumental
over by like
impact.
10
What
seconds.
sport did your son play?
Yes.
He's done track and
End it.
field, he's
End
done
it.
baseball,
That's enough.
basketball.
Yeah,
He
we
does
got like
everything.
Yes, and hopefully.
We still have
and
like 60 more of these to
the
go,
most
guys.
important thing, one of these roles, his
we gotta
life
keep-
goal
we gotta
is to
move
come
on
to
this stuff,
Disneyland.
man.
So with these additional roles.
I sent you
hopefully
the
it'll become a reality. Thank you very much.
I sent you the link to that
And you have a new employee.
Anaheim Resort mobility study thing that
Welcome. How are
that
you,
that
Jason?
picture originated
Great,
from.
thank you.
Oh, gotcha,
Good
okay.
evening. My name is Jason Smith, or Jason Daniel Smith, and my mom would yell at me. I'm an Anaheim resident and a cast member at the Disneyland Resort. My background is engineering, and I moved to Anaheim with my family almost 9 years ago to support the most recent wave of Disneyland Resort growth initiatives, including Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Avengers Campus. As Anaheim residents, my family and I have become active and engaged members of the community, including volunteering our time and expertise to support a variety of local organizations and schools. Approving Disneyland Forward will create thousands more opportunities for families like mine to contribute in meaningful ways to the city of Anaheim. In my current role, I have the privilege of being Executive Director of Downtown Disney and the Arrival Experience. Arrival Experience includes our resort transportation and parking team, which works very closely with our Anaheim Police Department and Anaheim Traffic Control on a daily basis to ensure safe and smooth flow of vehicles and pedestrians around the resort. We know firsthand how valuable the proposed enhancements to Walnut and Magic Way will be to reducing cut-through traffic and improving pedestrian access. This is one of the many reasons that I enthusiastically support Disneyland Forward proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Short, sweet, to the point. Here we go.
It's- The next speaker is Paul Sanford. I don't see him. And Dara Maliki, I
good.
don't see him either. So,
Good.
okay, Laura,
Knock them out.
welcome. The other names on the board, please line up.
I think this is 7 or 8.
Hello again to the Planning Commission
Yeah.
for giving, and thank you to Planning Commission for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Last time I stood before you, I expressed my passion, as well as sharing a heartfelt message for the Disneyland Forward project, both sharing memories and magic from past and those to come. While they may have been compelling, I want to be very clear. I am in favor of this project, not because I love Disneyland or that I have a young child. I'm in favor because it's the best decision for our beautiful city, from all aspects of tourism, employment, revenue, public safety, and quality of life. I think a lot of people have come up here to speak about it, and I don't want to push on that topic more, but I will say I've listened to the opposition, as I think it's the respectful thing and logical thing to do. In reflection, I'm compelled to bring clarity to some of the claims. The opposition states there's fireworks every night. There's not. Google search can tell you. The opposition has demanded traffic counts, and Disney's provided them. The opposition has stated 10% of Disney employees are homeless, which isn't true and is an outdated information piece. In fact,
Interesting.
California holds 12% of the national homeless population, which is devastating, however, has nothing to do with this project. I encourage any supporter of housing development to call our state representatives and get involved, as Disneyland Forward isn't a part of it. Being a resident who lives at the intersection of Walnut and Cerritos, I literally live just steps away from Magic Way. I would assume that's a quite compelling and relevance regarding the closure for through traffic. I want to be crystal clear that I have navigated driving on Ball as well as Cotella during many peak times, like some of our commissioners, and I have never needed to use Magic Way to
Interesting. I
get where
just
I've needed
sent
to
you.
go
I
in a
zoomed through
timely
that
manner.
study,
To the very
and
few
those
people who
pedestrian
use this
bridge
street as a
options that are
shortcut,
in
which was never
Disneyland
intended
Forward
for its
were in,
design,
in
I
this
suggest
study
to
as
give a
far as
different
2
route to
years ago.
try.
So
I
that's
can
pretty.
assure you out of the 1.4
The ones
billion
over
square feet
Harbor
the city
Boulevard.
claims, the minuscule 1,000 feet of Magic Way will
Really?
not highly impact your
Do you send me that?
community
Oh,
in a
okay.
negative
Yeah,
way.
essentially.
In fact, the changes proposed with Disneyland Forward, including the crosswalk, will make Magic and Walnut safer
So
for
what are we
residents.
looking
There is
at
nothing
here,
more
good
important
sir?
than that to me. I
Go
urge the
down a little
Planning
bit.
Commission to approve Disneyland Forward as it's what's
Down,
best for our
down.
community and
What's
stand
this? It's
before
like
you as a
page 7.
citizen and a mother raising a 4-year-old girl.
So
The
if you look
decision
on
that you
those
make will
options,
make
see
a
the
brighter
2 on
future
the
for her
bottom,
and countless
pedestrian
other
bridge.
residents. I will leave you with another quote from Walt. Today, we are the shapers of tomorrow. That is the plain truth. There's no way to duck the responsibility, and there is no reason why we should. End quote. Today is the
Session
day we can shape tomorrow
Bridge,
together
Harbor Boulevard,
with your
and Catella,
approval to move Disneyland forward.
And then
Thank you so
Harbor
much for
Boulevard
your
and Disney
support.
Way. Is that right?
Thank you, Laura.
Yeah.
Didn't they say they were?
Is Jill Baker
Didn't they say they
here?
were talking about maybe up to like
Okay,
3 or
if
4?
not, are you Robert?
Yeah, I said it's like
No?
about 4 of
Corey?
them. Three of them at least.
And they're saying it's going to be.
Oh, Robert.
Looks like it's going to
Get
cost
to
a
the
lot.
back
It's
of the
going
line.
to take some time.
No, I'm kidding. Get up here. You got to get a better excuse next time.
It's my first time. I apologize. Robert Moutry. Good evening, everyone. Robert Moutry from the California Chamber of Commerce. I also come to speak in favor of the project and urge its approval. For background, the California Chamber of Commerce is the largest business trade group across all industries and sectors in the state. Specifically to the Planning Commission's scope, we urge support because we believe that, as discussed by staff at length, we do see this as very consistent with community goals and documents. At a policy level, I couldn't compete with the statements from the parents and the others about the importance of Disneyland to the community. But I will say from a business standpoint, it brings so much to our state and so much to in the jobs and the benefits from it. So we urge support that way. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Ooh, I
Robert.
like it. Bye-bye.
Corey?
Nice. I think we're on number 10, I believe.
Welcome, Corey.
I didn't want to clap so I wouldn't be late. Sorry about that. My name is Corey Collins. I'm a manager of content strategy at Disneyland, but also I'm an Anaheim resident. So happy to be here to speak in support of the initiative. The $2,002 million that will be estimated to increase for Anaheim in the first 10 years alone is just amazing for the city. What it can do for our police, fire, parks, road improvements.
These are huge, by the way. These
Not to
are
mention the
really
city
big
services.
investments
I
right
talked
here.
to friends that live
And
in
that
neighboring
will go a
cities,
long
Anaheim,
way in
Orange,
reducing
Fullerton,
traffic
the services we
and
have here far outweigh
disruption.
Anaheim have. Just anything
Yeah,
in the
those-
city
on
is
Harbor.
just much better
Yeah.
here than any neighboring city, and we can just
Big
only
stuff.
increase that. The $8 million contribution to the parks alone, I would love, my boys love to use the parks in the city. My wife, I walk the dog every day, use the dog parks, and just would love to see more.
He means city parks.
I know there's a lot of consternation around Magic Way. I understand that a loss of a
Ooh,
shortcut is a
16
personal
people,
thing. My
Dr.
wife would be
Hello,
the same way.
everyone.
I
Make sure you
get
press
that
that
that's
like button.
a big
Like
issue for
it
people.
up.
But it's a very small number of people. And we heard a resident say.
If our
I
volume
agree
levels are
completely,
okay,
getting
please
traffic
let
off
us
of
know in the chat as
Walnut,
well.
My
Yeah,
street
let me
is
know.
used as
Let
a
us know if
cut-through,
it's too loud,
for a lot of people,
quiet,
and
or
I
hear
don't
us.
like that. And I don't want extra cars in my street. And so if I lived on Walnut, I wouldn't want extra cars. I wouldn't want, I think it's 2,000 extra cars that go down Walnut, going to Disney property. I would not want that. Yeah, I don't want to take any more time. There's 7 people left, so thank you very much.
70 people.
Thank you for telling us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
I like it. Number 11.
Welcome, Emma.
Love Kevin Theme Park Convention.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Emma Burrows. I'm here on behalf of the Anaheim
Hello there,
Orange
Kevin.
County Hotel and Lodging Association. I'm
Ooh,
going to do my
hotel
best
and
to keep my
lodging.
comments as brief as possible. Tonight, I come to you on behalf of our board and our membership to reiterate AOCHLA's steadfast support for the Disneyland Forward project.
Yeah, I'm sure.
As you're aware, the project holds immense promise for our community and for the
Oh,
future in
yeah.
Anaheim.
They need
The
to fill
changes
up them
outlined in the
hotels.
Disneyland Forward
Oh,
project represent
absolutely.
a
That
monumental
is
opportunity to invigorate our
Big
city.
money in Anaheim.
Through this project, we have the chance to usher in a new era of entertainment, hospitality, and economic prosperity. AOCHLA is proud to stand in support of the Disneyland Forward project, and we ask that you vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ooh, I like it.
Nice. Almost 30 seconds.
I like it.
John? Oh, Barat, I don't think he's here, so.
Good.
John,
Skip him.
come
All
on
right.
up.
Next.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I
Heck
just
yeah.
wanted to thank you, Chair
Number 12.
Kring, commissioners. I'm John O'Neill. I'm from the Garden Grove City Council. I've lived here my entire life. I was going to have a big, long story about how I started working at a motel across the street since 1979 until 1986 when I got in the electrical apprenticeship program.
Fine,
But
buddy.
I'll
We
cut
don't
short
need you.
that and respect everybody's time. That
Oh, no,
speakers,
what's the name of the motel?
Magic Lamp, Magic Carpet, where the
Oh,
Weston
really?
Hotel sits now. Bob Shelley and
Yes.
his family.
Ah.
Bob Shelley, my family is very close with Bob.
Yeah, where the
He
Weston
drove his
sits
parents
now.
to my parents' wedding back in New York. Anyway, thank you for your service because I know what it's like to sit on that side of the dais. I was elected to council in 2016. I'm happy to report that over the weekend I called the mayor, I called the city manager of Garden Grove, and all my colleagues. We have unanimous support for this project for Disney Forward.
Well, thank you.
So you have full support. We really appreciate the traffic study that you did, the sewer and water development. Everything looks good. I confirmed today with my public works that we're all on board. And Disney has committed over all these years. I can remember when, it was 50, my mom went on the opening week. So 50 cents to park, it was closed Mondays and Tuesdays. So I could work as a 13, 14-year-old. I could work there because they didn't need a driver. I wasn't 16 to drive people over to the park yet. But, Disney has committed hundreds of millions of dollars to the community. They've given back at every step of the way. And Walt Disney knew that himself. He had to have the community on board to do what he wanted to do. And he did it. And we need to do it, like previous speakers have said. We need to continue that magic and that imagination going forward. And we've reimagined Garden Grove. If you paid attention to Garden Grove in the last 10 years, we're doing that over there. And we really appreciate the bond that we have with not only Disney, but the city of Anaheim. And city of Garden Grove, just real quick, and then I'll close, is we rely on the transient occupancy tax to provide services for the city of Garden Grove. Tens of millions of dollars a year are coming in on our hotel transient occupancy tax, and we wouldn't be able to provide fire, police services, paving roads. We really rely on those services. So I urge you to pass this tonight, unanimous support to move this forward to the city council. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you. Good evening. Andrew Gonzalez, OC Building Trades. I'm standing here in support of the Disneyland Forward project. Bottom line, this is about jobs. If the full investment of $2.5 billion is put in place, you're talking about 11,000 construction jobs. These are high-quality, union construction jobs that pay living wages. And every moment wasted asking how many churros are going to be sold, is there an algorithm to tell us how many churros are going to be sold, is there a methodology to tell us how many churros are going to be sold, delays the implementation of those jobs. Asking for the Planning Commission to put this forward at the recommendation of the full council. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Tony.
Not here?
Welcome, Tony.
Move on. Oh, damn it.
Please, the other speakers, please line up.
So what are we, 14 now?
I think we're on
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Tony D. Trinidad with the Painters and Allied Trades, District Council 36. And we represent painters, drywall finishers, floor layers, and glazers in the finishing construction industry. We're also here in support of the Disneyland Forward project. We believe that a project of this magnitude will create many good career opportunities and sustain jobs for the city of Anaheim and surrounding communities. Recently, there has been some pushback against smart development, including projects like this, and it results in the loss of good paying, union jobs, and sustainable careers. We need to open up and provide more opportunities and pathways for low-income communities in the city of Anaheim and surrounding areas by giving them a chance to work towards the middle class. And the only way we can start doing that is by making sure projects like these are approved. It's also comforting to know that this project will be built with the highest safety and environmental labor standards in the state of California. So please, we urge you to approve this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Less than a minute.
Welcome, Chris.
My name is Christopher Solorio. I stand in support of this, the Disney Forward. We're thankful for Disney's partnership with the unions, specifically IBEW. I just want to share a quick story that I was a superintendent for a venture campus, and we had 100 electricians working on that project. 20 of them were Anaheim residents. 50 of them were Orange County residents. So I think if we're thinking about developing a project, we can have construction persons living in Orange County, I think that would be really helpful, where they can live, where they work would be really beneficial. Thank you.
By the way, if you guys have any questions in the chat or anything, if you guys want us to answer some stuff, we've been watching this
Welcome,
whole thing
John.
pretty much from the very
Good
beginning.
evening,
so please let us
Chairman,
let us know.
Chairperson
if you
Pring
need any,
and
clarity.
planning commissioners and
Just
staff.
ask anything.
My name is John Notaboom. I'm
Detailed.
here as a 27-year resident of the city of Anaheim. I know
You're
I look
looking
27.
good, John.
And I am in support of the Disneyland Forward project. My wife, who came up earlier, and I are active in the city, volunteering and serving as commissioners in a couple different commissions. We have proudly lived on the western edge of Disneyland Resort, a couple hundred feet from Walnut Street for 24 of those 27 years. As some of the closest neighbors to the proposed theme park district of Disneyland on the west side of the park,
This directly affects
we have
them.
had nothing but cooperation with Disney anytime an issue has come up. We have also represented our neighborhood and kept them apprised of all the happenings that had been discussed. We are aware of the traffic patterns and particularly the speeding of the northbound and southbound lanes of Walnut between Catella and Ball. Because of the speed, we have seen some serious accidents resulting in some major property damage to neighbors' homes and even tragically a death on Walnut. We typically use Cerritos to make our way north on Walnut to Ball or through to Manchester to access the freeways, or Broadway to City Church or City Center, where we spend a lot of time. We also believe that a pedestrian crosswalk at Magic Way will be a great deterrent to speeding on Walnut. As Francis says, we frequently walk our dogs around a beautifully manicured 2-mile walkway around Disneyland using Walnut, Catella, Disneyland Drive, and Magic Way to complete their little circuit. Over the last 3 years, we've been invited to voice our concerns, working with Disney and the city, beginning with the construction of the villas and the proposed theme park on the west side of their property. We believe that Disneyland Forward, the Forward project, will provide thousands of high-quality jobs during the construction phase and long-term employment for hundreds of cast members over the next 30 years.
It's likely
We
thousands.
will see the benefits that will boost our city's finances, including the general fund, which will provide public safety and police and fire protection to our neighborhoods. We have had the pleasure of living adjacent to both the Disneyland and Anaheim resorts and are blessed that Disney continues to invest in our city.
Thank you, John. Scott, before you start, I'm going to make a request. You're all very enthusiastic. You all want to applaud each other, but it's pushing 9 o'clock. We still have about 3 hours to go, and I know some of you have to go to work in the morning.
3 hours to go?
To get to school, so
What?
I'm just asking you to apply.
3 hours?
Okay,
Oh,
Scott.
man.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Are we burning the midnight oil?
I've lived with the
Wizard.
of the project, and my interest is in protecting the
3 hours?
integrity and
What is that?
aesthetics of my neighborhood.
What is
I don't
3
have a
hours?
financial or business stake in the project.
What is
My
this?
message to
Hold
you is
on.
that the Disneyland Forward project team has gone above and beyond to get us to where we
3
are today. When the
Hold on,
project
what's
team
on
first
the
began
agenda?
neighborhood outreach in
There has
March
to be
of
something else.
2021, I appreciated Disney's
for
customized
them
town
to-
hall sessions for
Hold
neighbors
on.
living closer to the project, but I did not expect that there would be continuous engagement
insane.
From the project team leaders, nor did I expect that
Listen,
detailed
guys,
feedback
I
and
stand
requests
for
from
these
neighbors
things,
like
all right?
myself would somehow get used in a meaningful
And I've
way to
already been
shape the
standing all
project's
day,
planning
so
process.
I
was really
don't know if
completely
I can
wrong.
stand for
The Disneyland
4 or
Forward
5
leadership
hours
team
here.
has been
Yeah.
outreach to neighbors like myself for
That's
3
insane.
years. Moreover, instead of receiving the same talking points or just talking to us in
We'll-
generalities,
we'll cover as
each
much of it as
meeting
possible.
built on prior meetings, providing specific updates that were relevant to neighbors like myself about the progress being made and how us neighbors' specific feedback
Thank you,
requests
Samuel.
got incorporated.
By the way, I got
into
your
the,
message,
draft
Samuel,
project
on
plans.
Twitter.
Ultimately, I was
I do
impressed to
apologize,
see
sir.
a
I just
high degree
have
of
not been
concordance
able to
between what
respond
the
to it.
project team described
Hey,
as verbally
Samuel.
and what was actually codified in writing in
So I
the
do
Okay, let's
apologize.
do it.
I skimmed through, but the original 1990s era Disneyland Resort EIR, as well as the 2023 DSEIR, and I really think that the differences are striking. There are numerous carve-outs, provisions, and other details that have been incorporated into the new DSEIR for the express purpose of protecting the aesthetics, the configuration, and the flow of my neighborhood. For example, as Disneyland pushes its theme park areas west toward Walnut Street, the DSEIR contains extensive provisions to ensure that the backside of the new infrastructure does not become an eyesore like the backside of Cars Land or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, but
The
they
Disneyland
use
Forward
Cars Land as an
project team and
example.
city staff have consistently demonstrated extreme due diligence and dedication to
Everything,
protecting
maybe she
my
said,
neighborhood's integrity.
maybe she
I
misspoke
have
saying
full
we're
confidence,
pushing
in
3
their
hours
expertise
instead
and
of 5:30,
stewardship,
so
going
maybe
forward.
we
Thank
should
you.
Thank you, Scott.
wrap it up type of thing.
Okay, Thomas,
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
welcome.
You know, one of the things that does kind of worry me about this.
I'm a hyperlocal resident to the Disneyland Resort who lives on Walnut Street. Disney has worked with me and many other local residents to ensure this plan meets our needs. The crosswalk is an example of a direct result of this collaboration. I just wanted to come here tonight to say that through our shared collaboration across many meetings, it does, and I support this plan.
Thank you so
One of the
much.
things that kind of concerns
Hey,
me about this whole
Tim,
project is that they're saying that they're going to
welcome.
change the beautification of the resort district.
Honorable
via
members of
plants
the
and so
Planning
forth.
Commission,
Change them out
as
with
a resident
low
of Anaheim and a
water
cast member
plants or
myself
something.
who is directly a direct
What does that
beneficiary
mean?
of the current Disney Aspire program. I'm
That's
here today
what I
to speak in
wanna know.
support of Disneyland Forward
So I didn't
project.
see that on the EIR.
This project will bring numerous benefits to our city, including generating $202 million in additional tax
It's not
revenue for
too hard, Sam.
for
Everything's
Anaheim in the first 10 years
all over.
alone.
Like they do with
This
cars.
will allow our city to
Or
invest in
like
improving
animal.
city services, including our parks, public safety, and roads and transportation. Disneyland Forward will also create thousands of quality jobs in
I
Anaheim
feel
and
that. I know.
crucial opportunities for our community through career training and job skills development.
Yeah,
I urge the
Samuel,
commission to
that's-
support the project and the positive
Don't
impact it will have
expect
on our
a
community.
huge
Thank you.
Thank you,
beautification
Tim. Carolyn,
project on these show buildings here. I mean,
if you
it's,
see your
they're going
name
to
up
keep
there,
those costs
please
as
come
minimum
to
as
the middle
possible.
aisle.
He says
Carolyn
that
Jones?
it's like, well, you know, Cars,
Okay.
unlike Cars Land or
Then
unlike Star Wars
Hotham?
Galaxy's Edge. Those are the examples they use.
Gatham.
Iron worker for Local 433.
So it's like,
thank you for having me. I
don't know about that,
And,
but
I'm in support of number 2 because of the jobs that it creates for the residents of Anaheim, and for the food that it's going to put on the table. And I have 3 children. Me and my wife lived in Anaheim for a while, and I love being able to work at Disneyland because it's like that was the place I wanted to be at every day when I was a kid. I even applied to be Aladdin, but because of my criminal history, they wouldn't hire me. That's all right. I snuck in the back.
right.
I joined the union for Local 433.
Wait a minute, wasn't it?
And now I
wasn't
put up
Aladdin
the
a street
rails
rat?
there. You know, so
There
if you
you
guys see the rails at Disneyland and then the iron that covers around the trees and stuff, and the roller coaster rides, Star Wars and Cars. Here you go. There's Aladdin. It's a dream of mine to be able to go to work and then come back home and be able to be in time for my children's football, basketball, baseball, Muay Thai, ballet, whatever that is,
Wow, busy house.
So when I'm working in North Hollywood, I'm thinking about the next time Disneyland calls upon me to work there, and so I love this project, and I really hope it pushes through. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. What are we on, 20 or
Welcome,
something?
Laura.
I just hope a
Joe,
lot of
you
them
have
are
friends.
Trying to find that.
I'm just going to talk a little bit about myself.
photo,
I am an
but I
Anaheim
can't- I
resident
can't-
yourself.
and a
Are you
40-year
kidding me?
cast member of the Disneyland Resort.
Yeah.
I'm also a very proud
Don't
Disney
talk about
volunteer.
yourself.
And I've gone from being a cashier in the restaurants to being an IT professional, all because of the Disneyland Resort. I also
right,
want to
you're
say that I
done.
give back to the community. Over 200 hours a year I've spent as a Disney volunteer, and I love the programs where we are able to give back to the community. In fact, my family was the volunteer of the year. And we had 3
Congratulations.
generations to do that. So I am very much in support of the Disneyland Forward project because I know how much it impacted my life and how much it can impact others. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
right.
Laura. Michael?
That's good. Good job.
Can't find the photo,
Welcome.
but they showed a photo of Like the
Thank you for your time, to the
palm
commission
trees
and
and
to
the
the staff. As a longtime resident of Anaheim, I greatly appreciate the
flowers
contributions
underneath.
that the Disneyland Resort
Bird of
makes
paradise
to
flowers.
city services
And they said they were gonna switch
via
those out. I
tax
don't know what that
revenue.
means exactly.
Our city thrives from tax revenue, and it's incredible to
Doctor,
think
I
of
think
the
it's just
additional
that guy who wanted to be
$202
a
million
lab on Theme Park
that the
Universe. I wanna talk
Disneyland
to
Forward
him.
project will bring in its
Yes,
first 10 years
yes.
of its
I wanna know how that,
existence. My
application
great-grandparents moved to Anaheim
they
in the
told them.
1950s. They're buried over at Melrose Abbey Memorial Park, and just thinking about what an incredible city Anaheim has become since then is very special to me. I love living here in Anaheim. I love working here in Anaheim, and I especially love volunteering my time here in Anaheim. My city enjoys our family parks. Sorry, my family enjoys our city parks, from playing tennis at Pearson Park to hiking at the Oak Canyon Nature Center to bird watching at Pelanconi Park, and even attending church picnics at Pioneer Park. What I like most about the Disneyland Forward initiative is the $8 million contribution or commitment that it makes to improving our city parks. It's so exciting to think about the improvements that will happen, from playgrounds to skate parks, even pickleball, and so much more. Our parks benefit so that our residents will benefit. I've taken part in 6 park improvements as a volunteer over the past few years, and there's nothing more that makes me proud, nothing makes me more proud to live in the city than to see our residents coming together for a common cause, and that is building up our community. My fellow residents, along with Disney volunteers, do so much, and I see Disneyland Forward as a tremendous benefit to our residents and our visitors. Over the years, more than 5,000 Disney volunteer hours have been worked in our city, and I know that Disneyland Forward will bring more of this wonderful commitment to our community. I'd like to close my remarks by thanking Fire Chief Pat Russell.
Why?
I'd like to thank the Fire Chief, Pat Russell, and our firefighters and personnel of Anaheim Fire and Rescue, which is a Class 1 department, which means they have received the best possible rating nationally, and our insurance companies see less
Nothing to
risk of
do
our
with it.
homes being lost to fire as a result of that. As our population continues
A lot
to
of these
change
don't
and our
have,
communities densify, we know that we
anything to do
need
with
more
Disneyland
critical
Forward. It's like,
emergency
oh, I'm
services,
loosely associated.
everything from ambulances
yes,
to
I
fire
support it.
apparatus to emergency preparedness. We need more paramedics,
We should've made
ambulance
it 2 minutes.
operators, and
Welcome.
firefighters. Disneyland Forward has the potential
All the
to
new
bring
viewers.
an extra $30 million a
17 of
year
you, make sure to like,
for each year,
subscribe,
so that
and
our
also-
city can strengthen our
I'm a
fire
member for
department
some
and our
cool
city's
stuff,
emergency
but also
preparedness.
comment down below.
Again, thank you for your time.
If you want to be up to date on what's happening here. They're doing a public comments, and after all these people, they're going to vote on
for 13 years and an Anaheim resident.
Disneyland Forward.
One of the
My
commissioners
roots
is
in Anaheim go
standing.
back to all my grandparents, each of whom lived here.
Oh,
My mom's
what I would
parents have
give to
lived
sit
in the
down
same
right.
house in Anaheim since 1960. My dad's parents first moved to Anaheim in 1958. Disneyland was an appealing reason they moved to Anaheim. When my dad's parents lived here, my grandpa kept a souvenir map of Disneyland hanging in their garage. My mom's parents continued to share a fence with Walt Disney Elementary School. My mom remembers seeing Walt Disney there when she attended, and the special support Disney provided, like the Disney characters they created for the school's auditorium.
That's pretty cool.
Later, my parents would both work at Disneyland, meet and get married. Their first home was in Anaheim. I would also eventually meet my wife, Courtney, working at Disneyland. She is a cast member too, and our first home is in Anaheim. Around the time I started working at Disneyland, one of our Disney Volunteers projects was building a teaching garden for Walt Disney Elementary School. I remember seeing my grandparents' house over the fence as my fellow Disney Volunteers and I helped to build and plant the garden, which was funded by the Disneyland Resort. You can see how Disney gives back generation after generation, and how over the years, Disneyland and Anaheim continue to be part of each other's fabrics. They have grown up together, and with Disneyland Forward, this is still the beginning. The historic structures of tomorrow may have yet to be built yet. I also have grown up with Disney. My dad had a 40-year career as a Disney Imagineer, helping to develop attractions and experiences for Disneyland and Disney
Oh
parks
man,
around
have
the
you seen the
world.
memes of like the skeletons
He helped
underwater?
create an Ideate Cars Land, for example,
saying,
part of an expansion that has generated billions of
Tomorrowland
dollars in
progress or
economic
whatever.
activity for Anaheim and the region. Now I currently work at
There's,
Walt Disney
you know, the
Imagineering,
meme of the
and I'm so
of the
excited
kids
for
in the
what
water,
future
right? And the
could
mother's
look like
lifting
for
them
the
up.
Disneyland
And
Resort in Anaheim.
everything gets
Plus, Disneyland Forward will provide millions of
put
dollars
down the
in tax
priority ladder,
revenue
and
and
Tomorrowland's
thousands
very
of new
bottom. Yeah,
jobs.
that's the one.
I love living in Anaheim, and I've seen the positive impact Disney has on our community.
Funny point. I like
On
how
one
they
side,
said
my neighborhood is Imperial
yeah.
Park, one of several Anaheim
Disney
parks
staff
for
member
which
said,
Disney
"We have
sponsored
plans. We
and
know
helped to build
exactly
the
what we want to
playground.
do."
I helped to build it
Right.
myself, and it made
So
me proud that
Marlon's
my
sitting
employer
right
was
there. Why
enhancing
don't I
my
should
own
know what
neighborhood.
you want to do with that?
At the park on the other side of
So
my neighborhood,
that's already approved. It's been
Eucalyptus
approved.
Park, the Disneyland
they
Resort
probably
met with
wanna-
residents of our neighborhood about Disneyland
They
Forward
probably want to sink
as
their
part of a
CapEx
community
money
outreach
in the
event.
immediate future on
My neighbors and I
something to
have
do
been
with
included from
Disneyland
the
Forward
start in
before they
Disney's
get to
thoughtful
Tomorrowland,
approach
which is
to
really
following the
disappointing
community to
because
this investment.
Disneyland
I just
Forward,
got a mailer within the last 2 weeks.
I mean, the initial
about the
investment will
community
take
benefits.
around 10 years. That's what they're
With
committing
the
to.
Disneyland
But
Forward commitment
this
of
is like a
$8 million
30-year
to
project
improve
here.
parks outside the
So
resort area.
where does
Our parks
Tomorrowland
will
fit
get
in all
better
that?
with Disneyland Forward, and so will our roads.
Tomorrowland will
job
be built
opportunities,
tomorrow, as I
quality
always
of
say.
life, and the future of our city, a city that means so much to proud
I mean,
residents like me and my
something
family.
probably have to literally break in Tomorrowland for this
Ross,
for it to be
welcome.
fixed.
Right.
Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Ross Bunch. I am a building trades member, and I am 100% in support of the Disney Forward project.
Boom. See, that's the good
I'll
right
give you a little
there.
bit of history, try to
Exactly.
be really brief. I joined the Operating Engineers Local 12 in 1993. I graduated the apprenticeship program in 1996.
She literally
I
said,
bought my first home in 1996.
it's not about the length
Several
of the
years
comment,
later, I got
about
married. We
weight- the
have
weight
two
of-
children together with my
Yeah,
wife.
they keep going
My
about the
oldest
personal
son
stories.
started college last year.
Yeah, it's all
my
just
daughter will be starting college
family
next year.
histories and stuff,
All of
and it's
that
like
could not have happened without
unless
a
that's like
good-paying
directly
job
relevant, it's like
with,
come on, you got
yes.
a lot to get through here.
by
So that's
passing
kind
this
of my
project,
problem here. I'm
it's
going
gonna
to
give the
go ahead and
opportunity
silence
of
him just a
thousands-
little bit so we can speak
thousands
over
of
him just a little bit.
people to have
Samuel
a
Blank says, I have a
good-paying
theory
job
about
with
Tomorrowland, why it's not being
What
touched.
is your theory?
Thank you.
Please let us know.
Thank you, Ross.
I'd like to hear suggestions as to why that is. From what I understand, I mean,
I'm Robert Todd.
Joe Rody was a part of the
I'm a fellow
project
cast member
initially,
from Washington,
back in
Anaheim
what,
resident.
2018?
Yeah, because remember the Imagineering story that was
Anaheim
picking up
because
the
of Disney,
thing.
because of the
Right. He's picking up the
to
Carousel
work at
Progress building. He's taking it
I do
away
wanna
from
say,
somewhere.
you know, as an
This was
Anaheim
directly
resident, from a
after
business perspective, this is
Avatar
such a slam dunk deal.
Pandora was built in Animal
in
Kingdom, so it makes
exchange
sense
for
that would have been his
flexibility
next project
on
right there.
what currently Disney owns.
And
is
it
the
hasn't been
return and
done, you know,
benefits that
nothing's
were
happened
mentioned.
since.
And there were numerous benefits. I want to take time also, the rest of my time, to thank city staff for
Okay,
the amount of work they put
See, like,
in.
why are we thanking city
It's evident
staff?
by the documents that they published publicly.
I
through the
guess
website
because
and all the workshops
they really have
and
been putting this
meetings
thing
that's
together. They've
held,
been getting
how
stuff out
much
to
work and
presidents and
effort
stuff like
community
that.
involvement is taken.
I guess we
Although
can
they
think
didn't
of
address
more
everything
than-
like how you
I thank you all.
obtain magic
Bye-bye.
keys or what
Yeah, I mean, you could do
products
that
are actually
quickly,
sold in
you
the
know.
stores. They addressed everything else, and it's a tireless effort. And commending and
initially I
knowing
wasn't
that they actually
supportive
looked,
of
with the understanding of what
Commissioner
the residents
Perez's
want. So I want to
amendment to limiting it to 2 minutes, but
urge you guys for
but now I am.
Right.
let's
Exactly.
get it going here.
You know, I
Chair
mean,
and
essentially we have, like,
commissioners, thank
like,
you. And I'm going
they said
to
70 of them,
take
so
your advice. I'm going to be
that's, like,
uncharacteristically
2
brief
minutes.
and
Like,
really
that's-
keep this
that's
down.
thing.
So my name is Doug Mangione. I am
I think
rising
it's-
on
you
behalf
should
of
be able
the
to get everything you
2,400
want
skilled
to
and
say
trained men and women
in a
of the
minute,
International
really.
Brotherhood of
Definitely
Electrical
two.
Workers here in
Only
Orange County.
3 to talk
We
about
also
your family.
represent
This is your
200
connections to
skilled
Anna.
ride maintenance electricians that work for Disney resorts. So all these folks, many of our members live in
I wonder what
the
Commissioner
Anaheim
Perez is
surrounding
thinking
area
about
of
it.
Orange
It's like,
County.
dang it, I
The
knew
money
it.
we make at Disney, Disney construction projects, Disney maintenance, that money comes back into the community and helps our members with health care. Every hour they work
They're also
goes to
positive.
health care
They should just
and
stop
to
them now
help
and be
their
like, okay, we
families.
get it. They say, hey, any negative
This is a
things are
great
y'all
project.
supporting? Okay,
We're
turn
we want
around.
to support this just for them. And please, please, please
Which is
move
why,
this
I don't know,
project
see,
forward for them. This
people
is
are
a
in
good
line, so
project. And along with the building trades,
they
I also also
they
want to
hear
know,
all the
how
other
many
comments,
churros did
so
you
they
guys sell
think
in
it's
the
all
last 10
positive.
years? But I want
I
to know
don't want to
which
make mine
ones got the
shorter. I'm
cinnamon
like,
and
oh,
which
okay,
ones
this whole
didn't.
set up
It's
what I want to say.
inquiring
So
minds
I'll
would
say,
love to know.
hey,
Thank you
thanks
all.
for the support. Okay, bye.
Right.
They just want to keep
James?
talking. I don't know.
McDonald?
Maybe they're bored. I don't know.
Okay, do we have Jeremy?
All of them are old. Isn't it past their
Jeremy.
bedtime?
And then the other two,
They have work
Ashley and
tomorrow?
Stephanie, would you please?
Are we on like what, 22, 23, something like that?
I hope
Yeah,
more
that's
than
fine.
that. I feel like they're kind of moving.
We're not
Yeah,
even
his
halfway
name's
done
twice.
here.
He
That's the
already
thing. That's why Ethan
Okay.
and I are
I wish
going.
I wish I had a number.
Jeremy,
I wish they.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Reinders. I'm a Disney cast member since 1995
I did
and an
Disneyland
Anaheim
because they
resident
don't
since
want it.
1998. I'd like to share my story and the ways that the previous Disneyland Resort
So
expansion
my theory is
opened
that
up a whole
Disneyland
career for
doesn't
me.
want to touch
I'm an
Tomorrowland
audio
because they
designer for
don't
Disney Live
want
Entertainment, and my journey with Disney began in 1995 when a college professor
You
of mine
can-
noticed my technical aptitude.
I
and
want to close
recommended
Space
I
Mountain
apply
to
work
redo
with Disneyland
Tomorrowland.
Entertainment in the tech
There are ways
services
to get
department
around
as
that,
a
though.
summer job.
They're
I
doing
applied
phases.
in the summer after my freshman
So,
year
yeah,
of
they can do it in
college. I was
phases, which
spent
is
at
what we
Disneyland
heard for
with
a
a
long
team
time
of
there.
entertainment professionals
They could
operating
also, I
shows.
mean, this was a
My
problem with
actual first
1998
job was
Tomorrowland,
working
for
on the audio
example.
crew to support a
And
grad
all they
night
did was just
stage in front of It's a Small World.
they either
presenting a
did one,
local
one
Anaheim
side
band
or they had a
named No
pathway, especially
What a great place to
for
start.
access back and forth to Space
My
Mountain.
time
Now,
with
obviously,
getting
that would
hired
have to
was
change
very
because
good,
that
because in
attraction does
1996 when I accepted the
buku
permanent
business every
role,
single day.
we were in the beginning
But
phases of the
there are
expansion
ways
to
to
become
do it.
Disney's California Adventure. And in the year 2000, I was
It
offered a chance
would
to
require a lot of
join the
planning. It would
project
require
on
a
the
lot of
construction side of the
impact to
entertainment
guests on a daily
infrastructure
basis. No question
going
about
into the
that.
new
But
park, and I
there are
jumped
ways
at
to do
that
it.
chance. So I spent an entire year on the construction site that used to be the original parking lot, supporting the bones of what became the parade route in Audio Central.
Yeah.
Learning new skills and technologies
Sam.
along the way.
That's true.
While building
They
relationships
don't.
and trust with the
It's
current leaders.
not preferred, but
It was on this
for a
project
project
that I
like
found my
that,
passion
you would
and
have
ability
to.
for taking projects literally from the
and
dirt of the construction site
I
into
think
immersive
it's a combination of
entertainment
things.
experiences.
Obviously,
1
it
month
has to
after
do
we
with a little bit of
opened
the
Disney California Adventure in 2001,
facilitation
I
of
bought
that,
my home
obviously,
here in
and
Anaheim,
execution of that
not
for
far from
sure.
Pearson Park.
But
Looking
also,
back, my
I
work on the
think
resort
it's the lack of
expansion changed the
ideas, the lack
trajectory
of
of my
funding.
career
I think
and put
those
me
are
on a
much
pathway that
bigger
wasn't really
impediments
clear
to
until
that
recently.
than just the
My
logistics
experience
of
on that
carrying that
project
out.
led to numerous more,
But
including putting me on the design team,
You-
creating
you're
the
on the right
entertainment
track, I will
venues
say
and parade
that.
systems for the Shanghai Disneyland Park.
Disneyland will
My role evolved on that
absolutely
project to the
build
point
another
that my
hotel.
wife and 4
Yes.
kids relocated to Shanghai,
I can
China
tell you
for
this
a
right
year
now.
to complete
When
the
Disneyland
resort.
Forward is approved,
Looking
which
back
it looks
on
like
that
there's
time,
a lot of
I
support
now
for
know
it,
that
as we have
were
seen.
blessed to be given a more global perspective on life from our
If it
time
is
living in
approved,
China.
the
We
first
returned to
order of
Anaheim,
business
and
before
now I lead a
anything
team of
else,
entertainment audio
other than
designers
parking
involved in
and some of the
creating
other things
new
that
magic
you need to
year-round
build as
for
far
all
as
our
infrastructure
shows
for
and
this whole
seasonal
thing,
events.
will likely
For
be
me, my
hotels
Anaheim
because
life and my
that
Disney
goes
career
back
have
to
been
actually
intertwined
2012.
for roughly
The
25
expectation for
years.
theme park
And the
operators was
skills I
that
have gained through
in
my work
2012
have taken me around the
they would
globe and
have
provided me with broader
hotels to accompany the
perspectives
opening
on
of
the
Cars
world.
Land. That didn't
But
actually
I've also
happen. So
enjoyed
this has
the
been a
short-
long
the short
time coming
commute
right
to
here.
work
That will
and
come
the
for
endless
sure.
stream of family and friends that always
KK
want to
Net
stop
right
by
here says,
Anaheim and
we just
enjoy
uploaded an
Disneyland
episode of Fake
and the
TV
surrounding
Box regarding
cities.
Disneyland Forward. Vash
So now, as
is
we
in
are
it.
on the
Oh,
cusp of
wow.
another
Hey.
season,
That's
yeah,
cool.
looking forward,
Yes.
excited for the
Awesome.
challenges and
Well, thank you.
possibilities.
Thank you so much.
And I'm
I will
also
definitely
realizing
check
that
it
it's now
out.
my
and
job
I'll leave
to
you a
identify
comment
the next
and maybe
generation
even a
of the
share.
me's
So,
that
how
will
about
benefit
that,
greatly
right?
from the work opportunities on
Thank
the
you, thank you,
horizon.
thank you. Do appreciate it.
Personally, I can't wait to
I'll
help
probably share it out.
Thank
this
you,
next
Jeremy.
line of cast
I'm not
members
saying
grow.
that maybe or not.
Thank
but
you.
I'll probably share it out.
Okay, Ashley?
At minimum, Tomorrowland
Next
redo is a
speakers,
to be
can you
project.
please line up?
Yeah, I
I'll be
mean,
brief.
Hello, my name is
It's-
Ashley, and
it
today I
will
wanted to talk
eventually
about
come, but
my experience as a resident of Anaheim
list of
and why
priorities for
I
the
support
company.
Disneyland
That's
Forward.
where it gets tough.
I have lived
Do you
in
guys think
Anaheim
Disneyland
for the
Forward
last
construction will
28
begin
years out of my
before
31
or after the
years,
7th
of
anniversary?
age. And
I think the
I've always
parking
had
garage
Disneyland
will
in my
begin
backyard.
before, at least.
Additionally, I
I
have worked
worked
Now-
as a cast member at Disneyland for the past 12 years.
Yeah,
And during this time, I
the
have
parking
witnessed
garage is
expansion
going to be first order of
projects
business
such
for
as Cars Land,
sure.
Adventures Campus,
Along
and
with
Star
those
Wars
hotels, like I was
Galaxy's Edge.
saying. I mean, that's been long overdue for
I
a
also
while
was
now.
an Anaheim resident and cast member during the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
where
say
I saw
70th
the
anniversary is
impact
what,
that Disneyland,
2025,
had on
is
the
that
city,
right?
as well as the
Yeah.
impact on the
Oh, yeah, it's
businesses
that soon, huh? Yeah,
surrounding the resort.
2024.
Along with all
Yeah,
the loss
after,
of jobs.
for sure.
However,
You'd be
I saw
lucky
the
if it's for the
positive
70th,
impact that
before the
Disneyland
75th
Resort
anniversary.
had
I'll put it that way.
on those businesses and communities when we reopened to the public. Disneyland Forward would allow the city to continue the growth and provide many jobs in the community, as well as revenue for its surrounding businesses. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you.
So
Okay,
everything's basically been, July 17th,
Chris?
2055.
Oh,
And the
that's
next Tina Riley,
Okay, he corrected.
Rigoberto, Lucas
They corrected,
Diamando,
sorry.
and Adam
2025, yeah. Yeah, July 17th,
Welcome.
2025.
Well,
It
thank
will
you. I
happen
appreciate
after.
it.
I can
I'm
confidently
also a
say
cast
that.
member and very proud of it, and a resident of the city of Anaheim. I'm very proud of that as well. And I want to talk a little bit personal about my experiences both. We've heard from my colleagues about what job creation means, what the revenue is going to do for the city. But I want to tell you, as a cast member who was a 17-year-old high school student who first started working there, I'm a little older now. I've been here 36 years in the company.
Will
It's
he be
taken me
critical?
all over the world, Shanghai. It's taken me to Hong Kong, Paris.
That doesn't sound like
But I
it.
can honestly tell you the culture that I've learned, the ability to be mentored by the best mentors you can have, all that we've been able to do as cast members and learn is because of the jobs that were created by this company. And I learned how to be a man basically here in Anaheim. I've been here my entire adult life. And as a parent living in the city, what we also see, and we use the services.
They might,
going to
Samuel.
the parks. My
You know,
son has started his
the
basketball
thing about
career
the 70th
at
though
East
is that
Anaheim
they
Gym.
haven't
So with my daughter, with her
they haven't
gymnastics,
necessarily
we're
been,
both very involved
and
in
Ethan, maybe you
our,
can speak to this as well.
Little
They
League,
haven't really been
almost
hyping
too
up
involved.
these
But we use all those parks
these
for that, as well as
anniversaries
practices. And I
as
can
much as
honestly
they
tell you,
have been,
to be
right?
able to be part
It's
of a city, to be
these
able to be
kind of
part
milestones,
company
unless it's like a big
allows
one, unless
that
it's like
for
the
people to go through
75 or the
development.
100. Those are
Be
the
able to see these
milestones that they
kids
really
could
celebrate.
become
So
the next
we'll
me.
see
I
if
am,
they
by
even
the way, the
acknowledge
vice
it. I
president
have my
of special
doubts, but
events and
Wizard, what do you
broadcast
think?
production. So I have grown
I hope
from a
consider
captain who
50 and
paddled a canoe
60.
for my first
They better
job
do 70.
to now representing our company and representing this city. So I want to say thank you for the opportunity.
Life with
and
Pro HD says,
thank you and
I'm mostly excited for D23 this year because honestly, I just want
It's
some
Tina
sort of details
Riley's
for the
back
Adventures
here.
ticket.
Reba
We want
Rico?
that too. We want a lot of
Come on
stuff,
up.
but
Tell me your
at
name.
minimum, can we get a little bit
Don't
more
be
details?
shy.
I think we will.
Which one are you?
Going down there. I'm Lucas.
Details and a start
Thank you for
date.
spelling,
Boom.
pronouncing my last name
Yeah,
correctly. That's
I'm
very
pretty sure they
unusual,
will.
so I
That's got to
appreciate
be
that.
pretty
I'm
far
Italian.
along
What do you
here.
want?
Good.
As
Welcome.
I can't pronounce
cynical
it
as I
most of the
might
time,
come
so
off
good evening.
when talking about Disney
I
park
manage
investments,
a hotel in the resort
I
area.
think we'll
I've
get
been in the
something
city, worked in the city for
at
10 years
D23.
now,
As
and
far
I
as
support the
how
Disney Forward
much,
project. You've seen the numbers.
that's up for
This
debate.
project will unleash a massive
I know
burst of
Wizard and I
economic
have
activity
debated on whether or not
that
they're even going
will,
to talk about Avatar really
produce
in a
great
substantial
results for
way.
the residents and businesses
So,
alike here. Disney is
we're not so
creating
sure on
a
that.
lot of money outside of just what they're doing inside their parks.
60th wasn't hyped until January 2015. Yeah, that's true. Yep, that's true. I just
roads.
the 70th though. I just
affordable housing,
it's
creating
so
jobs
close to
and
the
opportunities
75th.
for
I
so
just
many
don't know
people.
if they're going to hype that up.
This story
That's my
that
only
the representatives from Disney talked about earlier. They talked about the story.
caveat there.
You know, I think the Disney story.
CSRS,
and the
if Disneyland Forward is
Anaheim
approved,
story
maybe
are
we will
really-
hear about
they're
this Avatar
intertwined,
Land
they're
DCA.
inseparable. And advancing that story,
at
moving the story
D23,
forward brings more visitors to the city.
Probably.
Those visitors are going to stay here
probably.
longer. They're going to spend more money in the
if
city
this is
of
not
Anaheim,
approved, though,
and they're
there
going
goes
to bring
that.
more tax dollars.
Well, I'll put it that way.
What city? You know, if you look around some of the cities and some of the budgets and financial problems some of the other cities in California and other parts of this country have, I think Anaheim
look at the
is
Frozen Land.
the envy of those other of others, and will
Frozen Land?
be even more so if you move this project forward. So I urge you.
You know,
to
that
vote
was
yes,
really close
move
to
the
coming.
project forward.
I don't know if they're as enthusiastic about
Hotel
Frozen as they
suites.
had been, so
You come down the water slide.
I'm kind of
sometime,
unsure
visit my
about that.
hotel.
Lean, yes, but I'm not
I'll
sure.
be there, Lucas, when it gets warmer. Thank you. Adam,
Paint
welcome.
tonight, yeah. I mean, they were really close to doing it right before
Evening,
2023.
Commission staff. Adam
They
Wood
were
with the Missouri
really,
Industry
really
Association.
close.
Thank you for the
And
opportunity
Josh
to
G.
comment
Morrow, I
tonight.
believe, was the deciding
Here to
vote,
speak in
and
support.
that was a no.
We got a great
on
project in front of you
that.
tonight. Specifically, we're very interested in the 30
They had to
million
make major
contribution
investments to bring it
housing.
back,
We've
from what I
seen a lot of
understand.
policy proposals brought forward that stop
original
housing production. This one won't cost Anaheim a single
contractors
unit.
actually
It's
did
gonna be a major
the
boon to
work for a lot of
community.
the
We're very excited
technology
about that.
associated with that parade.
And
Has
also
since
on
gone
a
out of
more
business.
personal note, I have a
They didn't
5-month-old
survive
daughter,
2020 and the
so,
shutdowns there. So
I think if the
they had
construction
to,
timelines are right, a Frozen Land
contract
would
it
be
out
very
with a
enticing.
new group.
Thank you.
Severe
Thanks, Adam.
expense, all that, and
Come on up,
and
Jesse.
that's what held that whole thing
Welcome.
up. Would have been nice to have
Thank you,
Paint
Madam
tonight,
Chair
by
and
the way.
Commissioners. Good evening.
When you lost
I'm here,
Phantasm.
Jesse Benron,
So
VP of Business Initiatives at Orange
there
County
are
Business Council,
reasons
but
to
also
approve
an
these
Anaheim resident.
these
So
entertainment options.
These comments actually probably
when
with
you
both
can.
hats, I think they both hold true. Obviously, OCBC is ecstatic about the thousands of jobs being created with the focus on Anaheim residents and Orange County broadly, but also as a resident, I think as OCBC, equally excited about the tax revenue.
A lot of these guys are telling the same stories, guys, so I think
my 3-year-old,
we're going to talk over them a little bit.
And
If you want to hear
from an OCBC
these,
standpoint, the fact that you can have
please let us
economic
know,
growth
but
while
I
improving
think,
quality of life, they're not mutually exclusive.
you know, I think you guys have come here for a unique commentary, so we're gonna tone these down, unless somebody comes out gun swinging, then we have to listen to it. But other than that, you know,
No, you're not Timothy.
yes,
Dale?
I'm glad they support the project, but
Okay, what is your
seriously,
name?
we got like 70 people in line. Okay.
30 seconds or less. Wow.
Yeah, losing Murphy was an unexpected thing. It was. There's no question about that. There, I have heard internally that some people were arguing that something like that could happen.
With all of you.
But I will agree with you, Samuel. It was an unexpected thing. I'm just saying,
came here
it's good to have entertainment options, and it's good to approve those at the time that, you know, as quickly as possible, basically, right? Because you never know when something like that's going to happen. You're going to lose an entire entertainment option like that and really change the ecosystem of the resort going forward.
This project will ensure that we have a
just
strong
it's
and bright
just an
future
unfortunate
for all
situation.
of
Just all
Anaheim and its
around.
residents.
No question about
Create
that.
more life-changing opportunities.
Life
for
Approach
all
Day
who
says,
live
oh, go ahead,
and
Wizard.
work in Anaheim.
Okay, oh yeah, it's
The
terrible. Very
planning has
unfortunate.
been so thoughtful.
Yeah,
and,
Life Pro said if the
considerate
one of
of
Disneyland
all
being
those in the
Avatar
community.
Disney sponsors Super Nintendo
And
World.
with Disneyland's affordable housing commitment, generous charitable contributions to Anaheim and all of Orange County, job creation, and
You know,
all
there-
the
I
wonderful
mean,
things that it brings.
I think you could
We just
make an
thank you,
argument.
Disney, for
Maybe,
everything
yeah.
you do, and thank you to the city.
I
as
think you
well.
make an argument that,
And we're just here today.
you know, that
in
they
support of
are
this
competing
wonderful
for
project.
dollars
Thank you.
in this market right here in Southern California.
Matthew
I have heard that
Stanley?
I think Disneyland considers their biggest competition to be Vegas right now, which is an odd thing. That's a weird sentiment to have.
Chairman Crane, thank you so much for being
Iger
here.
believes in
Members of the
Avatar.
Planning
I'll tell you
Commission,
that much.
appreciate
He
the
believes in
opportunity
Avatar
to
going
speak
forward.
tonight.
Obviously, it
I
was
grew
the
up in the city of Anaheim,
biggest
and my fondest memories were,
post-pandemic
going to
movie
Disneyland and being
that
here,
Disney has
in
had.
the city of Anaheim.
That didn't
Today,
have
I'm here representing the
a
Catella Gateway
association with an
project.
outside studio like
The Catella
Sony,
Gateway
right? It
project
was the
consists
biggest
of
success.
23 acres and
I
is
think he really
located
believes in
directly
that brand
across the
strongly.
street from the
Honestly, too,
proposed Disney Forward
the
project
better Avatar
and the
does,
current
the better
Toy
the
Story
Fox deal
parking
looks.
lot.
So
I met with the Disney team on
his
several
legacy is
occasions
very
and
much
have
tied with
reviewed
that,
all
right?
of the
So
Disney Forward documents. Yes,
it's
all
important to get that off the
17,000
ground
pages.
for Bob Iger specifically,
We would like to
and
express our
he's
support
been
for the
attempting
Disneyland
to,
project
but
and encourage the Planning Commission
there's
to
a
approve
lot
this
of areas of the
proposal.
company
At
that
Catella Gateway
need
in
attention.
Anaheim, we deeply understand the role of
CSRS says if Disneyland Forward gets
fostering
approved and
long-term
Avatar goes into
prosperity
DCA,
and
replacing
vitality
Hollywoodland, could it
of
be
the
ready
city of
for
Anaheim and
2027 or
the resort
2028
area.
more
In
likely?
addition, we recognize Anaheim Resort
The-
area
you know, the
as an
problem
economic engine
is
and a
it
driving
took
force for the
4
city's
years, I
economy.
believe.
5%
Wizard, did they
of
break
the
ground
city land
in
generates
January
50% of the
2013 or
revenue.
January 2014 for Avatar back in
We believe projects like
Pandora?
Disney Forward and the Catella
think it was
Gateway Anaheim
2014.
project are the types of investment that will
Just checking,
make
like,
a
what, 3 years
positive
at that
and
point,
lasting
3.5 years
difference.
or
Yeah.
For
so.
example, Disneyland Forward represents 1.9 billion investment in
You know,
Anaheim within the next decade and will add 30
I'd say
million to the city
2028.
funding, not to mention the ripple effect.
Yeah,
it will
2028 is
have
probably more
in
likely.
attracting
I-
additional
If it's
investment.
improved in that spot, you see,
The
we don't
Anaheim
have
Resort
confirmation
needs
necessarily it's going to be
forward-thinking
approved in that
projects that
spot.
Well, actually, we don't have confirmation of what it is at all. So.
Exactly,
Projects that can
exactly.
raise the bar and develop
See,
the
Disneyland
next
Forward,
generation of
because
great
the
chapter
Eastern
for the
Gateway
city of
project,
Anaheim.
which
In
Disneyland Forward now
conclusion,
encompasses,
we support Disneyland
because that
Forward
wasn't
and hope to
approved,
see the Planning
that
Commission
moved
move
Marvel
swiftly
from
to
Hollywoodland, which is
approve
where they were
this
originally going to build that,
transformative
to
plan.
Bugsland. So, not having Eastern Gateway approved was the death sentence for Bugsland right there. So, would they necessarily take that up with Disneyland Forward,
Todd, yes.
Hollywoodland,
Fred, yes.
and Avatar?
Gary Majetti.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but I hope they don't, because if you're doing all this, I would hope it would go
General
into
Manager,
either a
Disney
new plot of
California
land to the
Adventure
side of
Park,
of
community past
DCA
chair of
or
the California
Disneyland, but we'll see.
Restaurant Association. My name is Gary Majetti, and the last time I was here, I told you a personal story about how when you said yes in the early 90s, I got a job.
You still have one.
So
That's good.
the expansion, the approved expansion that allowed for our retail, dining, and entertainment downtown Disney District, the Disney Grand California Hotel, and Disney California
Forward as
Adventure.
well. Life with Prochi says, I feel like Hollywoodland has better potential to the Marvel expansion. Yeah, I see. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm not necessarily in favor of replacing Hollywoodland with an IP that distinct in the form of Avatar, because you necessarily take away expansion for Marvel, which is really far more fitting for that area than Avatar, I would think. But Wizard, what is your opinion on this?
As it does,
Yeah, Marvel's definitely more fitting, especially because there's so many more characters you can do. And there's, Marvel's so many more environments. Like, you can literally keep Hollywoodland like it is and just put, like, Marvel, Doctor Strange, and characters, because they're in cities anyway, so you don't have to do too much in the backlight. You can do demolish that, make it something else. Definitely think it flows better, especially if they bring some Rogers the Musical or some other Marvel thing in Hyperion. It flows much better than just completely demolishing, because Avatar look kind of very out of place over there.
Yeah, and you could necessarily, I'm not saying that they would necessarily do this, but you could necessally destroy the or raise the animation building, right? And then you could just open that whole area up. And so now Avengers Campus could necessarily take over Hollywoodland, just going straight up north right there. That could be huge. That could be huge. It just Avatar needs to be in DCA sectioned off. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I feel about it. But go ahead, Wizard.
My grandkids will have new favorite attractions.
Yeah.
You're saying yes.
Definitely in the DCA section of Disneyland Forward.
Housing. You're saying yes
much better.
Over 9,000 construction
for Avatar
jobs,
there.
Nearly 5,000 new cast members. You're saying yes to.
I think we're kind of in agreement. It's like,
and you're saying yes.
If you put it off the main drag there, Avatar.
Memories. That's what
you just have thematic issues. You have sightline issues. You have transitionary issues. Also, too, Disneyland Forward really needs to be approved, like just genuinely, because that's kind of holding up the development of Hollywoodland as a whole. The way that Disney makes its theme park lands now is that you put the you put the attractions on the outer rim, right? Well, what's the outer rim if Disneyland Forward's not approved? It could be a fluctuating guideline there. So that's why it's really pivotal that this get approved, and Disney knows exactly what they're going to build, where they're going to build it. In that way, the person representing Disney, I believe, on the podium was correct in that. I just thought with the Fantasmic returning in May, what are the possibilities we get brand new scenes like Frozen, Moana, Encanto, Coco, or even Marvel or Star Wars? I would say, I guess we can take those themes one by one. Classic Disney themes, very high. Marvel and Star Wars, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but what do you think, Wizard?
I don't think so. I think definitely classic Japanese things. Maybe some Coco, I don't know, but definitely classic stuff. I don't think there'll be any Marvel or Star Wars in there, because that'd be kind of weird.
I agree. Also, too, it's these things are so.
They're thinking about the Peter Pan segment, so I think that'd be that classic direction.
Right.
To build this project, and then even then,
how many people are going to speak? Watcher Day's been keeping count, but
California Adventure.
I don't know.
There'll be a lot of changes or a lot of, let's do this differently.
Oh, what is he saying?
And
brought up Westcott.
The whole idea that you're voting on this, and many of you have taken money from the Disney Soar, and been at their events and all that. It's gonna be problematic, and also when it goes to the city council, there's another group that's going to be you have to recuse yourself, because you're going to get called up on this. If you've taken anything from the Disney group, you're going to get called up. It's just inevitable. It'll probably go to court, and then also Disney ought to thank their lucky stars, because they have this staff here that basically they didn't have to do any of the heavy lifting. It was already done for them by the city of Anaheim. So these are the greatest lobbyists for Disney that you could ever ask for. And they wrote everything down. They got it all.
First negative one. I think that was
straightened out.
what,
It was
30?
just a matter of the rest of you
30,
just having to
35,
show up
something
and
like
watch. So good luck.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, Marshall.
They knew his name.
So good
All
luck.
right, Matt Sutton.
Wow. That took a
Okay,
while there.
Michael oh,
That took a while.
You're
He is right, though. I mean, they approved Westcott. They didn't necessarily approve DCA. And that changed a little bit there. So people still remember that. They do.
I'm actually with the Orange County Restaurant Association. We're a chapter of the California
Very
Restaurant
interesting.
Association.
I think if Frozen ever comes to Disneyland, it would be part of Fantasy Springs like area, not a standalone land.
To people and throughout the process so far,
It depends on where it's built. So
process, I think
if you're talking about Disneyland currently,
plan, and then what I
Frozen might take the form of a standalone land because it's just not a lot of space. Now, if you were to build in the Disneyland Forward plots that they're talking about here, there's a decent chance that it would be part of a larger themed land in the form
Yeah,
of Fantasy
especially in
Springs.
the Disneyland section of Disneyland Forward. Like, nice little Fantasy Springs type thing going on.
And they kind of show that in the concept artwork. Don't get married to that, I will say. These things change a lot, but they kind of show that. So that's kind of what they're thinking right there. I feel like Pirates of the Caribbean portion of Fantasmic was only made to promote the 2017 movie. I mean, why else are they bringing back Peter Pan? Plus, Pirates didn't really fit with the show. Yeah, that's the thing, right? So it's traditionally been an animation-minded show. And honestly, it wasn't even intended to be that, but the association has been kind of baked in to the viewers watching it over the 20 plus years it's been around, right? Originally, they had plans to do a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea segment where you had one side the Nautilus would come in, and then the other side the Squid would come in, and you'd have Mickey on the island doing the whole organ thing. So there were plans to incorporate live action into that. They just never came to pass, and so that's why the Pirates of the Caribbean segment never really worked in that way because you were going between mediums. Pirates of the Caribbean was a huge franchise. However, Johnny Depp and the allegations there did hurt him a little bit, at least in the eyes of Disney. It shouldn't have, arguably, but it did, and that obviously has come into play, I believe. CSRS says, considering the time frame of when Frozen would be built, I would hope that it would incorporate elements of Frozen 3 and Frozen 4. I would think so. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
70 of those, the applicant.
Disneyland Forward is basically Fantasy Springs on steroids. Like I said, Samuel, don't get too attached to concept art. They have plans to build this stuff out. They do.
Thank you, Mike.
But this is over not even a 10-year period, over a 30-year period. And $1.9 or $2.5 billion
How about Carolyn Jones?
doesn't necessarily get you that if you factor in hotels and some of the other things that they want to build, EVCs and so forth. So
Stephanie Perez.
I'm just, temper
We're going
expectations.
right through this, aren't we? Tina Riley is not here.
Yeah,
They're not here. Yes, they're not here.
Laura here.
There's three
they're not
people
here?
who are
Okay, good.
Okay, Dale, Janice.
Good.
Hold on. Here we
Matt
go.
Stanley.
That's 5 in a row not here.
Laura. They can hear us out in the corridor, right? Okay, Matt. Michael.
Yes.
That's
no.
like
Oh,
10.
Sorry, Mike, your turn.
All right. That's a lot right there. It's like 7 or something like that.
When they put all their names in advance and they're not here, you get this response. Breaking news, March 10th, 2024, maintenance workers who keep Lux Disney California hotels running sue over wages.
Yep.
They can't feed their families.
Yep.
You can listen to people talk, but according to the Occidental College study, 50% of the employees don't make enough money to rent apartments here. They're living on the public dime. Disney hotel maintenance workers responsible for keeping the company's Lux hotels up and running are suing the entertainment giant for paying them less than fast food workers. Amid a regional housing crisis, the workers tasked with keeping the 4-star hotels up to wealthy customers are struggling to get by. A key issue in the lawsuit is that Disney
We're going to talk about
requires
this
the
in a moment,
workers
guys,
to provide
'cause
their own tools.
I did a lot of research on this
which
one.
under California law means they should be paid double the state's hourly
Correct,
salary.
because they bring their
of
own hand tools. That's a
$15.50.
state.
Meanwhile, Disney
specific
is
provision
charging
right there.
hundreds of dollars a night. Depending on the location, some rooms are $500 a night, even $800 a night.
That's true.
When they hired the employees, they were asked to spend hundreds of dollars on a set of required hand tools and replace them on their own dime.
Yeah, and by California law,
class
you have to
action
pay the
suit
double minimum
filed
wage if
Friday
you're going to ask that.
alleges Disney failed to provide paychecks on time for workers who were let go or quit. The lawsuit is seeking unpaid wages, legal costs, which has also faced criticism over its treatment of theme park workers, some of whom have reported taken to living in their cars. I think a lot of these things you can research online, and you can see that what we have here overall is a company that doesn't pay their workers well. They're living in cars. They can't afford the housing in the region. And we challenge the finding that Disney's development of property consistent with current entitlements presents a new benefit while creating no negative impact or negative impact that could be mitigated or found to be of such benefit to the community. I live a half mile away.
I don't think there's a negative. There's a negative
More
impact
pollution, more
overall.
traffic.
I don't think so.
More low-wage
This
employees.
is an expansion, though.
No affordable housing. $30
of
million, according
the
to
norm.
the Anaheim Housing
So I'll
Authority,
say that.
is 48 housing units. 48 housing units. And of course, the abuse of the workers, and these are the facts, not something we're making up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah,
so they're
not here. Let's see. Are they not here? Come on, come on. Oh, damn, they're here.
Thank you. Janine Robbins lived here in the same home in the city of Anaheim, a half mile from Disneyland, for 33 years. Reflecting our dreams and a commitment to enhancing our community, my family and I have a dream to expand our property. Our aspirations are not merely to increase the size of our residence, but to create a magical space that fosters comfort and well-being. By expanding our home, we aim to accommodate the needs of our family. By providing a meeting space for our friends, including a large, wonderful entertainment center, which includes a small amphitheater in our backyard for our many guests to share and experiences.
All right.
We need a variance to raise the height requirements.
Come on, I don't care about
To
that.
accommodate the new structures. This is crucial for the inclusion of upper decks that will enhance the aesthetic appeal of our home.
Oh God. Okay. All right. We're just gonna go ahead and take that down just a little bit right here. That lawsuit, by the way, it has been filed. And what the
recently, right?
right, yeah, very recently, maintenance workers are alleging that Disney did not necessarily pay wages consistent with California law, which mandated that if you are in the employ of an employer in which you have to bring your own tools, in which you have to facilitate your own tools, you have to be paid double minimum wage right here. So, yeah,
She's
Sam,
talking about nothing, Sam. Nothing.
Let's tune in here.
So you don't really have to look too closely at it. We're telling you, and you certainly don't have to read the 5,000 pages. Oh yes,
She's wasting 3
let's not
minutes.
forget this. We need to purchase the sidewalk area and parking area adjacent to the property line extending to the street. After all, we will be building the 20-foot high fence to enclose our property.
Oh, I
Or
have
maybe
I had no
won't.
idea what you're talking
Who
about.
really
I really have no idea what
knows?
you're
We're
talking
not
about. It
submitting
just
any building plans at this
whatever.
time.
So yeah, that lawsuit is going forward right there. There are some pay discrepancies. There are also timeline discrepancies on that whole thing. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. But that Park Place will have the updates, and I'm sure Theme Park Wizard can give a shout out as well to those things if you are interested.
You're still going. Isn't it 3 minutes?
I don't know. You know what? I stopped keeping track of these things because they were going so fast. With the Avengers e-ticket.
We have a 5-minute warning. And that's on my fiance, and then get ready for bed. So 9:45.
Uh-oh. Darn. Come on, Wizard. Your fiance can wait. Can't? Oh no, I love her. I love her so much. She is great. She's an amazing woman.
I have a fiance in the shower afterwards waiting for me. I'm very cold. You're still going. It's been like this. If everyone lasted like a minute.
We'd have the answer, right?
Are they giving her extra time because there's like 10 people that weren't here? So are they giving me like extra time?
I have no idea.
She's literally reading an essay. Look at it. It's 2 pages.
I don't know. Well, let's get these questions right here real fast. Let's get to the questions. Okay. CSRS, would the Avengers ticket come before Avatar or whatever the first thing for DCA gets for Disneyland Forward or after? I would say Avengers ticket's probably going to be number 1 on that list because it probably has the most development attached to it, and it's already earmarked. Like Disneyland Forward wouldn't hold this up necessarily. Go ahead, Wizard.
Yeah. There's a space for it, so you think they can just start right away.
Right. Exactly. Would you say that Toy Story parking lot could become a third park? If so, what could the third park look like, and what could it have? It's tough because
well, it could be since Epic Universe only cost $1 billion, so it can be doable.
It did not cost $1 billion, Wizard. Stop it. I know people were putting it up online. Oh, it's only $1 billion. No, it is not. It is much more than that. Substantially more than that. That's important there. I would go Westcott, to be honest with you. I think the Westcott project has a lot of potential. Nice. Right? You could
the local crowd, they'd be eating that up. They'd be there every weekend.
Absolutely.
You still have cater to the tourist crowd because thinking around the continents, and then they have and then you still have 3 parks to sell tickets to. That'd be nice.
Right. You could do this thing where you can line the outside with hotels, right? And that would give you your hotel capacity. Attractions on the bottom, like 3 or 4 floors, right? And then you can have attractions in the middle right there. I would lean into that a little bit. Maybe not exactly Westcott, but taking those Westcott ideas. That's what I would do for that third park. But that's the thing. Are they even going to build a third park on that Toy Story lot? That's the concern going forward right there. So we'll have to see. Rumors say the AC ride is using the TDS Peter Pan ride system. The AC ride. The Avengers Campus ride, I believe, is what you're talking about, and the TDS is going to be Tokyo Disney Seas Peter Pan. That is what I have heard. Yeah, that they're going to be similar because their ride vehicles look very, very similar. Then they're saying that they're going to have physical scenes in there. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. So we'll have to see on that. CSRS says, is it possible that they are waiting on Avengers 5 Secret Wars to start filming before they break ground the Avengers ticket? No, I don't think that's what's holding it up.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, not at all. Because also that's going to be like what 2026. So that'll be forever. So no.
It's supposed to incorporate multiple mediums and stuff too. It's supposed to be like a
there's a new villain,
multiverse.
So,
King Thanos, right? King Chapek. A lot of people said he looked like him because of the beard. King Thanos. It's supposed to have a new storyline, and I think they want to make it modular so that they can incorporate future characters as they come out. So I don't think that's what's holding up. But that's a good question. Life with Pure HD says, you have a good point. I always say, never let a good idea go to waste. I agree. Big G702, welcome to the chat right here. Hopefully they can break ground on the Eastern Gateway parking soon after this gets approved. I believe they will. That's going to be the first order of business. Wizard, what do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I always said they should do that this summer. Just do it because you already approved for it at the point. So just do it. That's the easiest thing. It's a minimal guest disruption. It's not as expensive as any of the other stuff. It's very necessary. So I hope they definitely do it. And also 702. If you shout out the Las Vegas area code there, shout out to Las Vegas 702. But if not, then Well, that's Las Vegas Valley's area code. So woohoo.
Nice. I like it. I love it. I love it. Nice pickup on that, Wizard. So what do we got? Do we have to until about what on the recording there, Ethan? We're going to go to 140 there.
Yeah, we'll go to 140.
140. Okay. So, minute 20. Rapid fire. CSRS for the rerouting of the monorail being behind Hollywoodland. That would happen right after the new parking deck is completed. No, that would probably happen. Well, I guess it could, but it would probably happen simultaneously, I would think, because that's what the Eastern Gateway project was going to do. Life with Broach D says, I'm glad they didn't kill off the Eastern Gateway project, even though it was announced like 9 years ago. Yeah, it was announced a while ago. They never let that. I always said, even though it's going to be, it was never going to be officially canceled. It was always going to be put off because that is integral to the Disneyland Resort going forward. And there were plans to build a second parking structure on that side, actually, going back as far as the 1990s. So that never died for sure. Wizard, what do you got for us?
Let's see. We got it's in Vegas. Yes, sir. Cool. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for joining. And this guy's still talking. That's nice. We'll keep watching. Hey, stay tuned to our Twitter accounts at Vashsky and at our Park Wizard of One, because we'll be live tweeting the continued results of these comms and hopefully approval before I go to sleep at 11 o'clock. But yes, and then stay tuned for the Theme Park Universe episode coming out this week on Friday. Make sure to subscribe to that channel and subscribe to this one as well. Thank you for joining. Like, subscribe, and become a member if you want to contribute. Cool perks there. As always, have a fantastic day. And hey, let's move forward.